So let's keep it warm for Margot. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Hopefully I haven't...
Let me just...
It's different to someone else's.
Okay, what makes somebody a monster is a question. On everybody's lips.
We've already done this kind of in like offensive language and swearing with children.
That is quite true. You were right in the thick of it back then when that happened. You actually were the sole provocation of that subject. But anyway, guys, so Thomas got the microphone. You are you, I am me. We could get a round of names, which is kind of fine. I'm up for that. How about we start with you?
Rachel.
Hang on, that doesn't count unless you speak to the microphone.
Rachel.
Rachel, hello.
Matt.
Matt.
Thomas.
Yes.
Oliver.
Oliver, just like my boss. Jeez. Anyway, you didn't have
Mikey.
any... Oh, just as well.
Rachel.
Also Rachel.
Neil.
Neil.
Lauren.
Lauren.
Jojo.
Joe. So, my name is Margot. So anyway, guys, where are we going to take this conversation? We have been through quite a few subjects. I think I know what you're going to say. I would like to hear from people who've just joined. You probably came here thinking, what the hell is going on? What do you think is going on right now?
The first thing that struck me was I didn't understand what one of the words meant. So I was like reaching for my whatever word that did Rachel used.
Rachel, which word did you use?
Was it the word artifice?
Artifice. I didn't understand what artifice meant. That's
but
why
do you know what it is now?
An artificial thing. No.
I guess that's part of it.
Artifice is
and it would be something that's created intentionally, yeah. So something that is set up intentionally rather than just happens by accident or because of a natural process or something like that. So, yeah. So this is like constructed. Maybe that's another way to say it.
So now you know what artifice is. You can sit here. These guys are okay with...
I don't want to smoke in front of right next.
Well, then I can't hear you unless you speak to the microphone. I can extend my arm only so far. But anyway,
I'd rather not smoke directly in front of Thomas.
that's very good. What about the rest of us? Don't worry about the rest of us. But anyway, so you were lured into. Anyway, you wanted to say something?
I was just going to say, screw the adults.
You could you could say that, but I can't hear you. This is the rule. Basically, I'm just passing the microphone around. It's entirely up to you guys what we're talking about. So now you are.
I want to know more about the nature of art. What is and isn't art? I was quite enjoying that.
Literally, you've got the right set of people to answer that question. I think Rachel, you've got the answer.
No, I don't have an answer. No answers. I was going to say,
Sorted.
when you came over and you said that that's a performance in there, but I don't think it's a performance. Who decided it was a performance? Because is it not just like a fun chill-out thing from all the other performances where people are singing? Or like, is it written somewhere that it's a performance or that it's art? Where have you got that from?
Because I'm in the middle. Just one thing about Talkaoke, I'm not supposed to talk. Paradox, right? But there've been some show of hands, people wanting to say something, answer your question. So I'm just going to bounce that. What makes that performance or an art form in the first place?
The mic. There we go.
No, I
I think it's a performance, and whether it's art or not is another thing. And I just think it's a bit like when we were at art school, we were told everything is art. But you know, my parents are communists and they say everything is politics. So, but then you work out that some things are more political than others and some things are more art than others. And so, for example, this guy murdering...
or singing his own interpretation, I think.
Life on Mars. Is probably less of an art form than David Bowie himself doing it.
Okay, so unless you go to an art school, Mike seems to think unless you go to an art school, you can really you don't know what art is. Really,
I don't. I'm not sure that's what he was saying, but I think.
Is that answering your question, by the way, Rachel? Is it at least getting there? Anyway.
I think art is conveying some sort of message or some sort of feeling or intent through the abstract, and I'm not sure that this is doing any of that. I think this is just using the techniques to make an entertainment, and that's fine. That's not disparaging. I just don't think it's art.
Okay, so you had your hand up. I'm gonna give the microphone to him, even though I don't.
Oliver. Yeah.
I was trying to block that name out, but anyway.
Not answering your question directly, but in terms of art in general. And we're obviously here, a very arty festival. Sorry,
no worries.
Bad technique. what is art to obviously, if you're middle class, we understand what that means. What is art if you are, say, underclass? If you are in the underclass, what is art?
Okay, so what is art if you are in an underclass? What even is an underclass? Yeah, exactly. Can somebody explain? What do you mean by that? Sorry, can you just clarify what you meant?
Yeah, if you are living in Sunderland, you're on the dole, you are not very well educated, what is art to those people?
Okay, what is art to those people who are...
Does it even exist for those?
Okay, Mikey, have you got any views?
Well, I've got no experience of Sunderland, but I've done a lot of work in Basildon, amongst the unemployed of a particular council estate called Craylands Estate. I don't think their notion of art is actually that much different to what you might find in Hackney. They might be less aware of like the current contemporary developments, but I think they've got a similar take on it, really, in Basildon. But I can't speak for Sunderland.
So you're saying that it doesn't actually matter about somebody's level of education or where they fall?
No, but there is a certain...
They understand art anyway.
No, I think there's a certain kind of like self-consciousness probably that people feel like they can't talk about it because they don't necessarily, they feel like their opinion isn't that valid. They need validation maybe from like the art expert, but I think they've pretty much, if they just let themselves go, they've pretty much got what it is.
So is that what it is? Like people don't give their opinion unless they feel comfortable and confident that they know what they're talking about. I'll come to you and I'll get your names in just 1 second, but I've got Rachel over here. Oh, hello. Well, you just joined us as well. I'll get a round of names all round. Anyway, Rachel?
Could it be more like the expectations of art? Because when you study, say, books for ages and you have all this education, you kind of formally learn what to look for and how to interpret things, and then you work from that. But maybe it's the expectations of art that like change the level. Like we have so much variation on TV because like it caters for different audiences based on those things, but it doesn't mean that people don't enjoy everything. But
that's okay. So I guess maybe that's what you're saying. It doesn't matter about your level of education. You can still enjoy art. You may not necessarily make all the links and references, but you can still enjoy art. We will put that on hold whilst I get a round of names. Hello, you've got glitter on your lip just here. I quite like that. What's your name?
Dana.
Dana, I love you.
Angharad.
Harriet?
Angharad.
Angharad?
Yes.
That is a really amazing name, by the way.
Neil.
Neil?
Rachel.
Mikey.
Oliver.
Thomas.
Matt.
Rachel.
Zoe.
Jojo.
And I'm still Margot. And so this is we've got two Rachels.
Very common. Very common.
There was an Angharad that fell off our stage at uni once.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Was that an art form? Was that a performance?
I think it was supposed to be a performance. It was karaoke actually, and she fell off the stage.
What do you know? So we were just talking about.
She's still living that down.
So guys, we were talking about is karaoke actually performance? Is it an art form? Do you have to go to an art school? Mike seems to think, oh no way! Are you kidding me? You're like the pillar of this Talkaoke. You've only just turned up 5 seconds ago. Thomas, I think you need to give your final thoughts, mate.
Well, I never got round to talking about it, but I just wondered about money, because you can do anything if you have enough money. Money controls everything and everything like that. So.
Can you buy love?
But does it make you happy?
No, but money does most things. I mean, you can do most things with money. Like you could just own the world if you had enough money. That's how you can.
What would you do?
You could probably stop. We could probably stop a war with loads of money, stuff like that.
So you're saying, Thomas, you've sat here for how many hours now? Quite a few.
About 5.
Okay, that's quite a few hours. You get the loyalty card, no problem. But we've not spoken about money, and the question is, I guess, what can money get? What can money get you? You're saying it may actually even stop wars if people were that way inclined. But do you really need to go? Well,
if you really need him, then stay.
Look,
he hasn't eaten. He hasn't been to Lou. He hasn't had to try.
He's been to the loo. We know that. But anyway, going back to the money.
He did get a cereal. He did get a cereal bar. He's had a cereal bar.
He was serially.
Yeah, cereal fed with cereal bars.
Cereal bars. But basically,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys can.
Supper out this way.
What kind of supper
Whatever you like, you can choose.
Anyway, that's just.
Domestic. Anyway, you guys, listen. What I was gonna say is, why don't? Okay, so JJ, you've got your hand up. You guys, you decide whether you're coming or going. No, that's all fine. Round of applause, yes. Come back tomorrow. JJ, you've had something to say, and then we're going to your amazing name, Anne Harrod.
So, like, he said that, like, you could almost buy the world with money, but I think it's more than that. Because if you just had a load of money, there would be nothing to do, basically. If you, like, bought everything you want, you would get bored of it sometime. And there would not be much new things to get.
So what can people do to keep themselves not bored? Because I think you said a very interesting thing, like once you have money, you can literally you can get anything you want, and then you're just going to be bored. But...
Well, I mean, we're kind of there because, like, most of the money is owned by just a very, very few people already. So that's already happened, that most people have got no money, and one or two people have got loads and loads and loads of money. So what now? That's the next question. What happens next? How those people actually going to maximise their impact in the world? Maybe by now giving it away, or actually using that money for something that improves people's happiness.
So what can people do with the money, I guess is the question, is one of the questions, but I was kind of wondering what other people think about this whole situation of some people having lots of money, some people having no. You had something to say. You may have been on a slightly different subject. What was your...
It was on a totally different subject.
Oh, go on. Let's hear it. Let's throw it in the mix.
I wanted to discuss whether Thomas should have gone for food or stayed.
You wanted to discuss that?
Yeah, whether he should have listened to his mum or stood up for his own rights, what he wanted to do.
Very interesting. I think it's a massive question. So what do you guys think? Should he have demonstrated his right to actually, this is what I want to do?
Where did we land
Neil,
on the...
you take it away.
Well, where did we land on the issue of voting? Because I mean, if we decided that he had the vote, then really it should have been in his court, shouldn't it? Not gone to his mother.
And it's nothing to do with the age limit or anything. You can still decide for yourself, even if you are, I don't know how old Thomas is. Oliver's like, no way. But Rachel, yeah, you go ahead. You're very polite, guys. I love this corner. They just pass the mic around. You are just so polite. One clap
I think
for that.
something that I was really interested in was that Thomas.
Yeah, okay. Rachel.
Thomas wanted to find out what the facts were before he made his decision. So he wanted to know what was going to happen for dinner, and how long it was going to take, and what it was going to be. And before getting those kind of facts, well, I just think, like, if we're talking about voting, you know, like that idea of it almost becomes impossible sometimes for us to get facts or factual information, and so why would we vote one way or another if we can't have that kind of assuredness? So he was given the answer: you can have anything you like. You can have anything you like for dinner. Yeah. Which is an excellent thing for a politician to say. That would be amazing. Yeah, I'd vote for the politician. Exactly. Yeah. So he wanted facts, and he was hearing you can have anything you like, and he was going, but what?
Is that parents-child related? Is that gender related? What is that about? But actually, Oliver, you were going kind of like know about something. I kind of vaguely remember what, but I think you remember better.
He looked like he needed something to eat. Because he was looking slightly delirious as a parent of a 12-year-old boy.
You look just like the person across.
Yeah, he looked like he needed his tea.
Okay, so you were just like that was just the right thing to do.
For his own good, I would.
Okay, that's fine, Mikey.
I mean, for some reason at Supernormal especially, we get kids addicted to Talkaoke and they stay all day. And last year we did have a kid that was like literally there from like midday to 10 o'clock at night, and he forgot to eat. That's why I gave this one some cereal bars, because like
you learned
I've learned from last year. He just stayed there and he's just addicted all day. But
speaking of food,
here we go.
Oh, thank you very much.
This is where we really get the sense of community going on, isn't it?
I think this is the ultimate test. Will you share what you've got there with everyone else around the table?
Would you have shared that with Thomas?
Would you have shared that with Thomas, girls? Sorry.
This is how war starts.
Only if he just like flopped down.
He's dying.
So if he was really desperate, then maybe, but he looked pretty fit and all right, so no chance. Anyway, Oliver?
They waited till he'd gone before they ordered it as well.
Would you quite cunning. Anyway, Neil, over to you.
On that basis, then, is it fair to say that sometimes the voters don't know what's good for them, and that's why we need leaders?
Well, I think it's very interesting that you brought that up. You probably were there for that
We
earlier.
never really engaged with it. We never really took that anywhere. I don't
Because
think.
somebody said, "Is the world made of leaders?"
Well,
or
he said.
What did he say?
Strong people don't need leaders.
strong people don't need leaders. What about people who are just like flakes? They need to be eradicated.
I want to
Would
come back.
Thomas be eradicated in a different reality for being a flake after 5 hours? That's pathetic.
I want to come back to Jojo, because you know when you're really hungover and you've got a fry up, and then
You probably don't. I hope you don't.
okay, not you, Jojo, and then whoever you're sitting with doesn't order breakfast or something, and then they say they're not hungry, and then they start eating yours.
Oh.
And all you want to say is that no.
Get your own food.
No, but we don't. We're there, and inside we want to kill them, but we just go, yeah, it's fine, it's fine.
Is that?
I think the
Britishness?
world would be better if it was led with people like Jojo who just tells the truth.
So do you guys think that we're not telling each other truth
No,
enough?
we're
You're not being-
polite. Politeness rules over truth.
Okay, Mikey, do you concur?
It's just like Jeremy Corbyn. He comes up with all this stuff. I want to share the community with the community. I got an email. I keep getting emails from Jeremy Corbyn. I'm getting like every day from Jeremy Corbyn.
What is he saying
The
to you?
latest one was like one community, everyone's got a voice. He's just saying that to get elected. He's trying
What
to
a
climb to the top.
cunning Man.
Yeah, he's just saying that he doesn't. Doesn't want to share his pizza. I bet if Jeremy Corbyn was sitting around the table, he would just he would say, "Oh yeah, everyone have a piece of my pizza," and then he'd just eat it himself.
So this, okay. So is Jeremy Corbyn just a fraud? He's basically saying, I would share with you, but actually when it came to it, he probably wouldn't. Who is voting Jeremy Corbyn?
Jojo to lead.
Jojo, congratulations, you just been elected to lead the Labour Party. How do you feel?
Ketchup.
Thanks.
Hold on. The policies, much like in real life, the policies on both sides here, with the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition, are strikingly similar. I mean, I don't know which way to vote. I don't know whether my vote makes any difference now.
You'll get no pizza.
I'd like to put it to both the leader of both these parties. What about brown sauce?
Sorry, what about what? Hang on, this really reminds me of, the Parliament, but anyway, Rachel, do you have a, okay.
I don't really know what brown sauce is.
Okay, Rachel, this one's for you.
Okay,
mate.
so
Okay, we're gonna get some clarification for Rachel here.
So,
Rachel
there's-
to Rachel. 1 second.
there's two ways of making brown sauce. There's brown sauce and there's Houses of Parliament sauce, HP sauce. And yeah, but so Daddy's is like in the brown sauce world, and there's House of Parliament sauce, which is HP sauce. No, they're different. So
I'm
brown
completely
sauce.
friggin' lost here, by the way.
brown sauce
No.
is apples and either dates or prunes, vinegar, sugar, some tomato, some special mix of spices,
Yep.
and onions. And you boil it up for about 4 hours, and then you liquidize it, and that turns into the most delicious brown sauce. But Houses of Parliament sauce is mostly vinegar and sugar.
Not too dissimilar to ketchup. So go on.
If you
Yes,
got one from a
don't
shop,
be
which one would you
intimidated
buy? Daddy's.
One of them. Well, I'd probably buy the supermarket brand one. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna get Oliver. Okay, hold up, Oliver. Your thoughts on HP sauce?
It's just
now.
another thing that millennials aren't going to get.
What do you mean, HP
Brown
sauce?
sauce. Yeah, it's just
Why? What makes you
it's
say
another
that?
thing that this young lady's not entitled to.
What do you mean entitled? Whoa, entitlement. Hang on.
I find it ironic that the HP sauce is mostly consumed by people from up north, but it's got a picture of Tower Bridge and the Houses of Parliament on it.
Is it?
That in an Alanis Morissette kind of ironic sort of way.
I'm just going to keep on passing this microphone because literally HP sauce is not my field of expertise. Over to you, Mr. Keane.
I've never thought of brown sauce as being a north-south kind of divide type food stuff.
Well, we may have just learned something new here. Okay, curry sauce, yeah? Oh, sorry, you've not said much, but now curry sauce came up. You've got
Now
something
I'm
you want to share.
interested. Now I'm
Sorry.
interested.
You're
I'm
interested.
I'm a bit
Bring
like
it.
Thomas. I'm absolutely starving.
Where are you from?
Where am I from?
These
Hastings.
girls would have maybe.
Have you eaten your sausages yet? Are they still cooking?
No, and the lentils are waiting.
So you're not going to eat?
I think I might need to shortly.
How
But
about
maybe
you
we
bring
need
it
to
and
vote.
share? Speaking of like politics and stuff. Anyway,
Whether you stay in or whether
Yeah, or whether I leave.
Okay.
And I'm
should I
really
stay or should I
hungry,
go? So we can talk about your dinner preferences. That's okay. We can talk about that. We can talk about sources. We can talk about Houses of Parliament. I was kind of intrigued by the fact that you were saying, how do people know what they are? And you weren't exactly saying that. But why people know what to vote for if you just don't know what people are saying?
Well, I
to
mean,
you, or
I
politicians
just
in particular?
like we're around here in a circle, and
Okay.
two
Rachel,
or
before
three
you go,
people.
Mikey, I'm
Get
sorry,
fi-
I'm going to have to deprive you of this microphone. Can you give us a final thoughts before you come back again? Are you like going, or are you going to be
My
back?
bladder will burst, that's all.
Okay, so you'll be back. No problem. Are you like going?
I've got HP sauce in my cool box. No, that's not. It's just sugar. It's just brown sugar.
Brown sugar makes brown sauce.
I want
Quite
daddies
simple.
now.
I'm sure.
That's all I have to say.
Maybe it's possible to get it. What are your final thoughts? Are they
That
gonna?
was it.
That was it. Daddies.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was deep. Any final thoughts on before
I'm
dinner?
slightly sort of hung up with the HP brown sauce, thinking about sausages.
I get
Better
it,
go and
but
find some.
dig deeper.
There's nothing there, my friend.
That's okay. That's fine. It's a non-judgmental environment. So you guys enjoy your dinner. Come back. We'll be here until we've had enough. Until time to have something to eat.
But I
thank
mean,
you guys. See you soon.
when it comes to voting, it's like when they had the Scottish referendum, all the English people said, "Oh, why can't we vote in this? We want to vote in this. We should vote."
English people.
English people, because it's a union. And I sort of feel kind of that they should vote, but I wonder if that also means with the Brexit thing.
Yeah.
Why is it just English people or British people, in fact, that get to vote? Shouldn't the whole of Europe vote on whether Britain should be in or out of Europe? They've got a say in it. It's like a divorce. It's like one party walks out, but what about the other party has got a say in it? Surely. Sorry, we're on to Brexit now.
Interesting point. Okay, so a big elephant in the room. Brexit. Neil.
That's
what's the
it's
solution?
equivalent. It's equivalent to voting on whether or not that lady could go and relieve her bladder. It's kind of.
If you ask me,
It's
she
quite.
shouldn't have.
It's
She should stay, but-
her vote. Her vote. Even if we all voted, her vote probably has got to count at least double because it affects her quite strongly.
Okay, Rachel, what were you going to say about Brexit? I'll come to you, girls. Just get your thoughts together about Brexit.
I was going to say that I am not English, and I got
What?
to vote in the Brexit thing. I am an Irish citizen who lives here, and through a weird quirk of historical fact, I am allowed to vote in all the elections
That
here.
is very interesting. Do you know why? Because my flatmate was able to vote, but we never got to the bottom of why.
So,
She's so
my belief, my understanding, is that it's probably because England thinks they still own the Republic of Ireland.
Interesting. England own it. Okay, Neil, you're pretty certain they do. Anyway, we've got a new face around the table. I know you're not a completely new face, but these guys may not know that. What's your name, face?
My name is Bob.
Hello, Bob. We've got
Neil.
Rachel. Good.
Mikey.
Oliver.
Matt.
What's your name?
Harriet.
Harriet.
Joe.
Yep.
Lauren.
Okay, and I'm Ma. Go is my name. Thank you. Anyway, new face around the table. Brexit.
Brexit. My
Thoughts?
feelings.
Just
on it.
go.
Well, I
Go with the
don't
flow.
really understand politics. I'll be honest. I don't really know what's going on, but it doesn't seem good. Brexit seems like a bad thing, and I feel like a lot of the people who were voting for Brexit were incredibly ill-informed, and I feel there's a lot of bigotry and racism hovering over that decision.
Bang. Anybody can top that. You guys were saying about. Okay, you've got thoughts on Brexit?
Oh, I don't have a thought on Brexit. It's a new
What a shame.
subject.
Is it going to be a ketchup-related thought?
Kind of.
Bring it.
Just a little bit. So you said you were what sauce do you like most?
Mikey, what
I
is
just
your
want to
sauce
say
of
that in
preference?
Europe they've got much better sauces than we've got in the UK. Like there's much less sugar in like even a French ketchup has got less sugar in it.
Welcome, Rachel.
It's a much tastier sauce.
Is that because that's the fact? Is because you can't read French and you just assume it's all healthy? Just putting it out there. I don't know. Rachel?
Like, you know, like frite sauce, like the
Sorry, what
Belgian,
sauce?
like frite sauce, like for chips in Belgium.
Frite sauce.
Frite sauce.
Yep.
So it's like mayonnaise, but it's sweeter. So I'm imagining it's sugary mayonnaise.
Well, what about honey? Honeycomb, maybe.
Could be.
I don't know. I'm no expert on sauces. Bob?
I love mayonnaise. I mean, I'm a real mayonnaise man. I eat it with every dish.
Oh yeah.
Okay, mayonnaise with everything.
Yeah, with everything. yeah.
Definitely with chips. Chips and mayo, yeah. If you're having chips, mayo or curry sauce, basically.
Make sure you do. Okay, Mr. Keane.
What about
I'm just gonna call you Mr. Keane. Is
that's
that right,
fine.
chick?
What about salad cream, Bob? Or do you see salad cream as like the sort of ITV to mayonnaise's BBC? 'Cause that's my mum's perspective on things.
It's a very interesting perspective. What are our thoughts on salad cream, Rachel? Have you had any thoughts about any sauces whilst you were in toilet? I don't know.
Not while I was in the toilet.
No,
but
that's
salad
okay.
cream is just the kind of thing that I always see kind of leave, put some olive oil on it and balsamic vinegar instead in most
On
cases.
salad sauce.
On a salad.
Oh, salad.
Like
Okay.
the salad cream, I'm not really sure what it is. It's like halfway between mayonnaise and like maybe brown sauce.
Okay, so we're having a very strong conversation about sauces. I'm liking this. I'm pretty torn where the conversation should go. Crisps, sauces, Brexit, ketchup. That's kind of category of sauces. Tomatoes. Yes, go on, Mikey. Make
My
a point.
ex-girlfriend said I was middle class because I put balsamic vinegar on my chips instead of malt vinegar. And I just vehemently disagree. I think that's a very like rustic, kind of like rural
quite continental thing to do,
Italian
though,
thing
isn't
to do.
Okay, what do your eating habits say about your class? Go.
But essentially, impoverished parents are buying for their children. I eat sort of Iceland, sort of frozen food, chicken nuggets, that kind of thing. And I just basically said to her, well, the thing is that they can get more of that food for cheaper and feed their kids for longer with this frozen kind of like high saturated fat food than if you buy a broccoli from Tesco. I mean, that broccoli, you know, it's more expensive than buying chicken nuggets. It's ridiculous. And it's going to last for less time. So, of course, it immediately indicates you're of a lower class if you're only shopping in these kind of areas. But at the same time, you know, it's just better for people who can't afford it. It's not necessarily healthy.
Lidl's.
Lidl's, what?
Lidl's, Aldi, that's where I do my shopping.
What does that say about your class, though?
It says that I'm skint. It says that I'm skint, but I still like fresh food, you know.
Okay.
Basically.
I think that's a very interesting point that you made. It's like people buying frozen food, but that kind of says, oh, they've got slightly less money, but they can feed the family for longer. But what's wrong with frozen food is my question. That's
I
like
think
a
this
form
is
of
a very
preservation,
educational
right?
conversation for the kids.
Oh.
Listen, kids, you should always check your sources.
Hey! Okay, you are deprived of microphone. Rachel, over to you. That was very educational.
I think frozen vegetables and stuff and frozen fruits retain everything, don't they, when they're frozen? So there's nothing worse. So why does it? Obviously with meat I get it, but why are other things like
Yorkshire
so
puddings.
bad? Yeah.
It's not the freezing though, is it? It's not the
What is
actual
it then?
freezing, it's just what the food is before it's frozen.
So you're saying it's low quality to start with anyway. Sorry, Rachel.
So why is the question always like, oh, frozen food is so bad, frozen food is rubbish, or fast food, but like not the actual food that people are making, because then nothing changes.
You've got a point that you want to make. I'm very curious.
With the sauces thing, well, I'm the Prime Minister and she's head of the Labour Party, and we're very high class. So I think if you like ketchup, then you should be high class.
Okay, so kind of like flip it on its head a little bit. Just if you, as a Prime Minister, you enjoy all the common things such as ketchup, that automatically takes it up a level.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get thoughts from Joe. Joe.
So you know that they have marmalade flavoured crisps?
No, I had no idea about that. Talk us through this. I literally didn't.
So Walker's had this like vote on which flavours of crisps. So there was like smoked beef or something.
Yeah.
And there was marmalade, and there was like super loads of cheese, and then Marmite won. And why can't there be ketchup flavoured?
I think there are. Well, speaking of education, there are ketchup crisps. I don't know where you get them from, but anyway, Mr. Keane, you know.
Yeah, Walker's made Heinz ketchup flavoured crisps for a brief period, but they weren't as good as ketchup.
They weren't a great seller. But anyway, Mikey, you had something to say about frozen foods in general.
Is this a kind of
Okay, one sec.
Is this a democratisation of the industrial food making process that Walker's now put the crisp flavours out to the people?
Seize back the means of production. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, seize back the means of production. You can get ketchup flavoured Pombears, can't you? That's crisps.
I don't know, can you? Yeah. It kind of makes... You want to say something
The whole
about...
thing about that vote is that it gives the customer... The crisp vote. It gives the customer the illusion that they're in control of what they're buying.
Oh, hang about. That sounds slightly like politics, but maybe I'm wrong. Oliver?
Do you think when they're making the crisps, they just bung a load of chemicals in and then decide what it tastes like, or do you think they say I need roast chicken and broccoli and then they try and make that? Which way round is it?
Who wants to answer that question? Mr. Keane?
Well, I was going to say, as much as it pains me to say it, what an unbelievably successful campaign that we're stood around in a field in the middle of a festival talking about it. Like, blisteringly successful advertising campaign.
Absolutely, but which crisps are we endorsing here exactly, or which flavour?
Seabrooks. Absolutely. Corporate crisps.
The money-flavoured crisps.
Corporate crisps. Even though this is supposed to be an alternative festival, no one here is talking about like homemade crisps made in a railway arch in Hackney. They're talking about Walker's crisps.
You keep talking about this mythical area called Hackney. What is that? What is that?
It's where I'm from. It's where all the twats live.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, anybody knows anything about Hackney? Do you know where Hackney is?
No, but...
Do you know where Hackney is? Sorry.
I've heard of it, but I don't know where it is.
Do you know where Hackney is?
No, but I know they make great crisps there and there.
Excellent. Do you know where Hackney is?
I do, and the bits of it that I've seen are extremely gentrified. I'm not sure about this.
Do you know what Hackney is?
Yes.
Do you know what Hackney? Yeah. Do you know what Hackney is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what Hackney is?
Yes.
Do you know what Hackney is?
Like a bit.
Okay.
Come and sit down. You don't have to be from.
Do you know where Hackney is? Oh, well, there you go. Well, wait! Round of applause for that. What is the most popping crisp flavour in Hackney? What's the most popular flavour of crisps in Hackney?
I can know that one. I know that one.
1 second. We've had an authentic Hackney person here around the table.
I don't know.
That's okay. The alternative question is this. What's your name?
Megan.
Megan, this is everyone, this is Megan. I'm Margot, by the way. So, and that's Jojo, and they're basically like the alternative government now. So, Mikey, you had something to say. Welcome,
it's
by the way.
actually the most popular. The most popular crisps in Hackney are actually not crisps, but hummus chips.
Oh, that subject was here.
Made from pure hummus. They're made.
Plantain chips.
Plantain chips?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Do they grow plantain in Hackney?
No, but there is quite a big Afro-Caribbean population there, so you get them in all the
Could you just explain what plantain is for you guys? Familiar with plantain? Okay.
It's like a big banana.
Okay, we were talking about crisps. Oh, by the way, this is Talkaoke. This is a pop-up talk show. Everybody talks about whatever they want to talk about. I just merely pass the microphone and just grab people like your good self just then. So we're talking about various things. Hackney being one of them. Crisp flavors were another thing. Capitalism, politics, ketchup, and it all kind of is a little bit of this massive puzzle. So we can take this conversation wherever you want. Bob wants to take it.
I just want to say
Sure.
you guys had actually you had a really good point when you were talking about, if the Prime Minister likes ketchup, then that means that ketchup's high class. Andy Warhol said something that the idea is that a can of Coke, is the same for the President as it is for you. No one gets a better Coke. It's the same Coca-Cola all round. And in a way, rather than that dividing class, that unites all classes in a sort of shared love of a product of consumerism.
Okay, that's a very interesting point.
My dad is actually a socialist. My stepfather is a communist. My mum's a communist. One thing they all agree on is their favourite restaurant is McDonald's.
The Scottish chain.
Yeah.
Everybody loves that. Apparently it is, yeah. So do you guys agree that it doesn't matter? I mean, maybe, what is it about an endorsement from celebrity or politician to kind of take something from lower class food product to a higher class food product? I'm going to ask Mr. Keane.
Well, from expanding on what Lauren said.
Sorry, just need to move this and this.
Expanding on what Lauren said about if the Prime Minister eats something, then everyone should eat it. That to extrapolate that is just celebrity endorsements, isn't it? So David Beckham gets a haircut in the early noughties and loads of people want to get the same haircut. It's just a natural way that the society's been built to follow and appreciate others. Whether you think it's misguided or not, everyone looks to others for inspiration.
So everybody needs a leader in some sense. Come and join us. I'm just gonna. One sec.
I think the question of class has been superseded by the question of status. Like, it's not necessarily about what class I'm from, but what is my status. Someone like the Prime Minister Theresa May has got a high status.
She's not really the Prime Minister. Still.
Yeah, actually, yeah, whatever. But it's more about that. So, you can come from a low class but have a high status, such as David Beckham.
Okay, so status versus class. Rachel, what are your thoughts?
I want to also bring in the idea that it might be about like how much economic power you have, I guess. So like how rich you are maybe supersedes those ideas of class. Like there's a lot of people who would have been like brought up as middle class who are absolutely utterly skint claiming benefits. I think that was like one of our things where people were talking about previously, that idea of, oh well, if it's this family in this northern town claiming benefits, what is going to be the thing? So maybe there's also that sense of like how much access to cash or like capital you have.
So capital is related to how you feel about your class, or like how you is that what it is? What I'm trying to kind of unpick what you're saying, because there's quite a few things there. So so what I mean, I don't want to make a point because you just made that. Can people kind of take that somewhere?
Jojo.
Oh, Jojo, yeah.
Well,
what's your class?
It's not really in this subject, but someone.
Should I get back to sauce again?
It's back to crisps a bit.
Yeah.
But it's not about ketchup.
That's refreshing. What is it about then?
So there was. So like someone.
Sorry to put your thread on hold there, by the way.
Someone said that. For crisps, like, do they just put a bunch of chemicals and just imagine what they taste like? Like, you know those every flavour beans where they come with like bogey flavour and stuff? How do they know the flavour? Do they just pick their nose and eat it? Because that's kind of disgusting.
Well, that's the question. Do people pick their noses and eat it? Is it? Wow. Have you done it? What's your name, by the way?
My name is Trio, and I have picked my nose and eaten it.
Yes! Me too! Stand up and clap if you feel the same. Anyway, thank you so much for sharing this. Have you picked your nose and ate it?
Probably.
All right. Yeah. What about you?
Probably when I was little.
Yeah. Okay. What about you?
I haven't eaten. No, I mean I've certainly, when you got a cold and the mucus, I'm sure at some point it's
No, we're talking.
I didn't have that habit, though I've watched close friends do that, and I can't talk to them about it. It's pretty tragic. But I was just going to talk about the taste. No, the taste testing of the booger, which I think is a very interesting question. I mean, the thing is, if it really tasted like a booger, they wouldn't be able to really. That wouldn't sell at all. So what they've made is they've made a sort of an approximate flavour. You think it.
Sorry, the level of this conversation is getting deeper and deeper. Rachel?
I have a question for Jojo. Do you think, Jojo, that my boogers and your boogers taste the same as each other?
Very interesting question. And how would you know that as well?
I don't want to answer that question at the end.
Very prime ministerial, very honest prime minister there, yeah?
You're not prime minister, I'm prime minister.
Oh, sorry, leader of the opposition? That's also fine.
They might taste different.
Why?
It may be because we're in different areas, we eat different things.
We inhale different air, maybe as well.
Maybe.
Okay, you guys had some thoughts about bogey flavours, yes? Mikey?
Well, just the same as the Coke can, that the president's bogey is the same as the man on the street's bogey. Amen. So we're all eating the same bogeys.
Let's see what we're doing here. Okay, so we're all the same. I think this is the consensus around the table. We are all the same, except...
But then comes the question, why are we always trying to get one up and be like the better person? We're all the same. Our bogies taste the same. We drink the same Coca-Cola, drink the same beer. Those of us old enough to do that. You can have some if you want. No.
It was a lick the mic.
But,
not your beer.
you know, why it just seems to be like this constant sort of like vying to be the, you know, oh, I'm better because I drink Camden Hells or something like that.
Okay, Neil, you've got...
It's because some people do have the advantage, and that's that's what sparks the jealousy. I, for one, will not rest until I've tasted the Queen's bogies. That's when I'll know that we're equal.
Okay. So are you saying that we all equal when it's convenient to us, but actually given a chance, we just want to have this little, just slightly be up over someone else?
I think people
Very
actually
good, Oliver.
secretly want to be posher than they are.
Let that one sit with you guys. And try to answer that now. Are you trying to be posher than you are, Oliver?
Well, I'm just
That's
thinking
quite a
about
posh
that.
name, by the way.
The idea of everybody wants to be an individual. Imagine that there was some kind of apocalyptic event, sort of right now, and we were reduced to foraging and all those things, just trying to survive. What do you think would be the first kind of act that somebody would do that would express their individualism and their difference from everybody else?
Would that be an act? Bobby?
Give for the sake of giving. Altruism. They'd give food that they themselves could have stockpiled to someone who they didn't know, outside of their friend group, outside of things, not for barter.
Not like a creative thing, but just a generosity kind of.
Well, that wouldn't be the state. That's in other societies. That's how people get status, by giving away stuff that they've got to other people.
Is that so?
In terms of expressing yourself as a person, when you're all reduced to that base level of surviving, pure surviving, what would be the first thing?
Mr. Keane, and then I'm going to do something surprising.
I was just thinking, Bob's point on altruism, so could we be in that kind of apocalyptic event? Do you feel, Bob, that altruism could be like an innate human characteristic that would come out, like in rabbits are altruistic, where if there's a predator, one rabbit will go on top of the mound and sacrifice itself so the rest of them can escape. Do you think human beings have an inherently altruistic things? I think they can be inherently compassionate. I don't think you need to learn compassion.
No, I completely agree with that. I don't think you do have to learn compassion. However, I think if the conditions, i.e. the danger level, the lack of food, lack of provisions, more natural disasters, that kind of thing, you'll find altruism less than you would in a situation where people are doing all right. That's my feelings on it, really.
So is that yeah.
Yeah,
your thoughts
in Oxford we've got a lot of homeless difficulties, and there was one bloke saying, "Oh, I really want to make the world a better place," and he was in quite a bad place, and somebody was saying, "Look, don't worry about the state of the world just now. Get yourself into a good place, because the people who are in a position to change the world and make it better are the ones whose personal circumstances are already fairly sorted and fairly stable. So don't give yourself a hard time for being the one who wasn't Mahatma Gandhi when you haven't got a bed," sort of thing. I thought that was quite cool.
So first things first, make sure that you're okay, and then you can be altruistic. Rabbits, I guess they're always in a good place. They don't, so they're quite happy to be altruistic. I'm just gonna get Jojo to say, do you know what altruism is actually? Because we like talking about it all the time, but
nope.
Okay, somebody explain, please, Mikey. What's altruism?
It's where you do things for others selflessly without thinking about yourself.
Okay, so Jojo, have you done anything recently or ever altruistically, meaning you've forgotten your own needs, you just made sure that the other person is okay?
Like, for example, give away a piece of your pizza.
Yeah, to somebody around the table, and there's like 12 people really hungry, and you just gave up your slice of pizza or something.
I've done a lot of things reluctantly, if that's what you
That's honesty, okay? It's a stand-up clap. Okay, so can you be a reluctant altruist? Hey, stop battling now, Mr. King.
Well, I think by the definition of it, it wouldn't be reluctant. I think you can do selfless things reluctantly, but altruism, by its definition, would be something that you wouldn't. There'd be no reluctance in doing it. It would be, by its definition, I think it's something that would be innate. An innate behaviour that you would do is throwing yourself in front of the car to save someone else. It's that kind of.
So you need to have that moment of like realizing, I know I'm doing this thing, I know what I'm doing, I'm not kind of resisting it, I'm just going with it, I'm being altruistic, I know it. There you go. Rachel.
I think there's also part of the definition that is about that you're doing it for no reward, like on yourself. So it's not so that everyone thinks that you're really generous, or it's not that everyone like gives you a clap, or it's not that, you know, whatever those kind of things are. And I suppose that, yeah, I don't know how that can be reluctant. They're not in the same. For me, they're not in the same definition.
So what is the gain of being altruistic? That's just my selfish question. What is the purpose?
To use sort of a religious example, immediately it seems apparent that the reason to be good is to impress the creator, and thus sort of secure your place in Valhalla. You know, and that really isn't altruism in its purest form.
Okay, so what is altruism? So, I mean, have you ever tried to impress your maker?
I'll do anything for 72 virgins.
Nice, interesting. I'm a little bit like in my face with this. So anyone who can save me from that situation, I much appreciate it. 73 virgins, literally, I'm just like paralysed right now. Yeah, hello, what's your name?
Zoe.
Zoe,
Yeah.
welcome Zoe, this is everyone else, and I'm me, so there you
go. In Buddhism, like, and altruism is just your for your self-enhancement, so it's like, it's not for doing anything else, like, only for your own, like, advanced level, like, you want to practice.
So isn't that slightly, I mean, I don't know, what is the definition of altruism? Is that slightly defeating the definition of what altruism is if you're doing it to improve yourself? Mikey?
I think that's fine, to be honest. I think if you're helping somebody just to get a warm feeling, to feel better and smug about yourself, at least you're still helping somebody. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you help the old lady across the road because it makes you feel, oh, I'm a better person, or if I'm like showing off to somebody, then you're still actually doing a good thing.
Neil, let's hear your thoughts.
I agree with that. I think the time when it crosses.
Are you agreeing so that because that makes you feel good, that you're not contradicting him? Or?
I want him to like me, basically.
Bang!
No, I think.
Just speak a little louder. There's a bit of a singing.
I think the point when it crosses over from altruism to something else is when you have to tell somebody that you did it. You know.
Okay, interesting. So do you have to share it to kind of validate it? Because if you know that you've done well, you've done a good deed, is that enough?
I think it's like unconditional. It's like you don't ask people, you don't show people, and then you don't even notice if you're doing it. It's a part of your quality as a human being. So it's like we're all very different. So someone's have doing better morale, like the moral level is better than the others, or not better, but it's different. You'll have a different standard. So that's really quite important. It's only yourself know that this is me doing it. So it's not showing other people or get a reward. So there's no reward.
So
basically,
no
the really important, no competitions, like no standard, like. You only know that yourself doing it.
So, for instance, a competitive altruism, would that necessarily be a bad thing? I'm alone with that question. No, I'm not. Oh.
If it's competitive, then it's not altruistic, is it?
Yeah. Well,
good doing.
But like Mikey was saying, as long as you making yourself feel good, you're in competition to someone else who's making other people feeling good, you're competing over something really good. What's the problem with that?
Muslim people say you can't do good things.
Oliver, basically. Okay, but do be back, because otherwise I'm going to get your final thoughts and it's just going to be like your show and it's all going to be very different. Just behind you. It's behind you. Anyway,
the Muslim thing, as far as I understand it, is that you don't tell people that you've done altruistic things because that makes it an act of ego rather than an act of devotion. So, depends what you want. I mean, I'm not saying there's something necessarily that ego is bad, but it is different.
Mm-hmm. Okay, ego, bad or different, or well, just 1 second, Rachel.
I'd also like to ask how altruism relates to the idea of philanthropy. So we were talking about people who have lots of economic wealth and what they could do, or positions of power, or different things, and what they could kind of do to make the world better. And one of the ways, I suppose, like that the arts has done that, or culture has done that, is by patronage. Yeah, so asking to the person who's wealthy for philanthropic acts, so their charitable or generous donations, allowing for a thing to happen, and like that has its own name, which to me suggests that part of that is about like reaffirming status, or that is about. So
I am a philanthropist. I am someone in some realm. Okay, Bob.
When we donate money to a charity, we are being philanthropic, but the term philanthropist essentially suggests someone who dedicates a large sum of money regularly to various causes. So it is about status, as you say. But what I really wanted to sort of go off on a small tangent about altruism is that can you truly, to do something selflessly for another human being, but something that human being needs or wants, but might not necessarily benefit that person, such as, I don't know, buying heroin for a homeless man. You know, obviously to us, we're like, that's horrible, that's destructive, but he would much rather that than the slice of vegan birthday cake you brought him instead, you know.
What are you saying about vegans, by the way? Okay, anyway. Oh, hello, new. Okay, worse than heroin is, I think, the underlying message, but that's okay, we can debate that. Let me just ask the new face around the table what the face's name is. What's your name, face?
Imogen.
Hi, Imogen. We are us, and you are you. Nice to meet you. This is Talkaoke pop-up talk show. So we're talking about is buying heroin for a homeless man, knowing full well that that's what you're doing. Oh, come on, are you going back to Hackney? I hope not. It's far away. What are your final thoughts? What are you going to take away from this conversation?
Great work.
I couldn't hear you. My microphone couldn't hear you.
Keep up the great work.
Guys, pressure's on. Keep up the great work. Don't spread the word here. Basically, don't come here. I'm joking. Obviously, do come here. Do take part in this conversation. We've got Imogen here. We've got hands in the air. We've got a conversation. Would you buy heroin for a man who's addicted to heroin? But you know it's bad. But would you do it? But it would make that man happy. Would you do that? Actually, I'm going to direct it to you because you've not spoken for a while.
What's heroin?
Wow, it's a female hero, obviously. Anyway, Rachel.
So, heroin is a type of drug that is used. So it's made out of poppies, again pulverized.
Don't give them
I know everything.
Everything has to be.
It's all over the place.
This is the theme.
So yeah, so it's made out of poppies. So people grow lots and lots of poppies in hot countries. Poppy. Oh no, not poppies.
Poppies, all right.
We don't have that.
That's lethal.
And so, if you had to have like an operation or something, you would need a really strong painkiller that's made out of the poppies. And heroin is another type of that. Is it what?
They put poppy seed juice in Roman times.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
it looks pretty, but anyway.
It's coming from the same place, but then some people get really, really addicted to it because for them they've got lots and lots of pain, and the only thing that would fix this would be to use this drug. And in this country, it's illegal to have it like outside of a hospital. So if you're in hospital or something, then there are types of this drug that you would be prescribed by a doctor, but because it's quite dangerous for you, you wouldn't have it like all the time. But other people bring it into the country from hot countries where they're growing the poppies and sell it to people who are addicted to it. So people who are like really, really need it. Also, like that's why you don't have it all the time, because
anything you wanted to know about heroin and you were too afraid to ask, Rachel is your man. Anyway, basically, heroin is drugs. Thank you. Round of applause to Rachel for being such a great educationalist. Just right there. Mike is tapping you on my shoulder blade. I don't know why. Have you got anything to contribute?
Just as some history of heroin. Heroin is actually the trademark of biopharmaceuticals that put the drugs on chemist shelves.
Did you say
biopharmaceutical, German pharmaceutical company. They came up with heroin as a way for housewives to wean themselves off of opium addiction. And that was where the term heroin comes from. It's actually a trademark generated by biopharmaceuticals.
That's very interesting.
But now, of course, it's made in I guess backstreet laboratories, but illegally.
Okay, so that's one thing that we can kind of explore, which is the origin of heroin and stuff. But I was personally quite interested in what you said, Bob. Is it morally wrong to buy somebody narcotics if you know that what you know, is that morally wrong? Or we can talk about something else.
I think it's morally wrong to do anything that I personally wouldn't do.
What wouldn't you do? What are the things that you would never, ever, ever, ever do?
Well, you just have to 72 virgins, you know. I'm up for it. So.
Ketchup in the world. Okay, so we can take it anyway. But Anil, what would you never do?
I was going to talk about the buying the addict narcotics.
Perfect.
I think if you can guarantee them a pure dose, then I don't see a problem with it at all.
How do you guarantee it's a pure dose?
I don't know that you can, which is where the quandary lies. You know.
Sadly, perhaps ironically, a purer dose may be more lethal in the long run because it's a lot stronger than the stuff that usually be sold on the street.
Yeah.
Strong conversation about narcotics here.
And also, like we do buy addicts a drug, so with like methadone, so to replace one addiction with another addiction that is more controlled or involves less risky behaviour. So that there is a kind of moral judgment going on in terms of society, and that's funded through, you know, the taxation system. So it's part of our redistribution of wealth. We actually already do that, but in a different context.
We're not opting into that in a philanthropic way. It's just that's part of what our taxes do. We don't make all of the decisions about where the taxes go. We just have to pay them. We're forced to. It's not the same as literally making that call and going, okay, I'm going to give you this much heroin because I know that you would prefer that than the vegan cake slice. It's not the same.
My question is this, girls, are you on your way out? I need your final thoughts before you go. You know the drill. What are you going to walk away with? Okay, fine, but what are you going to take away from the session, quickly?
Ketchup.
Yeah?
Potatoes and bananas.
Quite a strong message. What about you, Harriet?
Tomatoes.
This is a very strong, powerful message. Mikey?
Would you buy ketchup for these girls, knowing that they're addicted to ketchup? I think it's a crucial question. I don't think I would. I don't think I could.
I think they're too much of a ketchup addicts. Anyway, why don't you give us your final thoughts before you go?
I've really enjoyed talking to you guys. I have never ever talked about eating my snot before, and I don't know what's happening to this recording. I'm a bit worried now in case my mum sees it. Anyway,
that's okay. She probably done the same thing. You know, she's your mum. She probably, you know, I don't know, genetic. Anyway, thank you very much, guys. Don't just stand around. How about you take a seat? This is Talkaoke. This is a pop-up talk show. It doesn't bite, by the way. We are talking about your addictions. You had your hand up, and I will come to you. But I just need to fill these chairs. Oh yeah, they're just taking a vote. You're thirsty. Okay, guys. Well, that's fine. You've made your contribution, which was very good. Bring me something. Make mine a double. Also, yeah. What are your? Let's have some more beers. Also, guys, over there on the peripheries, come and take a seat. Tell us what your addictions are, because we are tossing and turning trying to answer the question: is it morally wrong to buy somebody some drugs if you know they're addicted to it? Is altruism, philanthropy, is that morally right or wrong? Are you just pleasing yourself by being philanthropic and stuff? And Mikey's got his hand up. Why don't I just ask you what you want to say? What do you want to say?
Well, closer to home, is it morally wrong to get a round of drinks in when you know that your friends are like mild alcoholics and you're buying them drinks? You're just making that worse. Isn't that the same thing? And it's a more usual circumstance.
Okay.
I think that would only be the case if you were buying the drinks and you weren't drinking yourself. The fact that you're all drinking together means you're sort of you're ritualistic addicts together in arms, you know.
I didn't catch that because I was trying to entice these guys to come and take a seat. But yeah, that's a very interesting point. What were you going to say? I could see in periphery.
Sorry, it's just on.
What's your name, by the way?
My name's Dave.
Dave, what's your name?
Maya.
Maya?
Rachel, again.
I'm joking, I knew your name. And this is Imogen, this is Neil, this is Bob, this is Mikey, and I'm me, which is Margaret. Anyway, what were you
just
going to say?
on the alcohol, you were talking about buying around for if they're only mild alcoholics.
Do you mind if I just have a quick?
No, okay, fine
Cheers.
yourself. Mild alcoholics is not really a big problem, but if you knew they were like alcoholics and they hadn't had a drink for years because of their dangerous drinking, and then you bought them a drink, that'd be
That'd be quite mean.
that would be a
really.
wrong thing to do. Yeah, I think that'd be immoral.
Have you ever done that?
I've never done anything like that.
Okay, so when somebody says like, no, these are my limits, I am abstaining from X, Y, Z, you will not tempt them.
I do know a couple of ex-drinkers who just won't touch drink at all, and I wouldn't try to kind of.
You wouldn't
force
encourage
alcohol
them,
onto them. No,
just for
absolutely
fun.
not. Yeah, no, that'd be.
But it's gonna be quite funny if they were like abstinent for like 10 years. Like, oh, go on then.
For a small period, it would be funny, but I think they're destructive lifestyles.
Okay, Rachel, you had something to say?
So when's the cut-off point? How do you know when someone is slipping from a mild alcoholic who's drinking ritualistically to just a proper alcoholic and aggressive and stuff?
Interesting point. How can you tell?
I suppose the only way you can really tell is by the person's decision to abstain, which is what Dave's saying as well. I think at the point when they believe they're saying, well, I don't want to do this anymore, and especially if they've actually had a period of sobriety, you know that that's it. But if they just keep drinking and are having fun doing it, whether they may be addicted to that drug, they're not an alcoholic in the sense that we sort of know alcoholism, which seems to be self-destruction for self-destruction's sake, with depression and sadness, and it's not fun. It's a chore to drink rather than it being fun. But what I was going to say about what you said before, man, was basically that what if in a situation where you had someone who was an ex-alcoholic, or once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic, but they seem really, really depressed, really sad, and sobriety wasn't working out for them, and you're their mate, you might fancy buying them a drink, it'd make them happier. Doesn't that kind of change things somewhat?
No, definitely not. I think if you've got a drink problem, specifically drink here, or in fact, I think if you abuse anything, it could be drugs, but alcohol, let's stick with alcohol then, and you've kind of. Usually people who've stopped drinking have got to the point where that drinking is so destructive that they're probably going to die, or they're going to be really ill, and the depression and all the other stuff comes on the back of that. It doesn't actually. Alcohol isn't a solution to anything. For some people it's a good way of having a bit of fun and loosening up. For others, it's just much more powerful than you imagine. It's much more pervasive as well.
Thank you, Dave. Rachel.
So you're kind of saying that there's no point where you as a person extra outside of that person's life would ever intervene, and it's all down to them, but you don't know what they're thinking. It might look like they're having loads of fun, but you would never get involved. It's up to them whether they make their decision to stop.
Can I just say quickly, earlier we were talking about your real friends and people being close to you, being able, oh, hello, new face, I'll come to get your name very soon, but I just need to finish my point that I'm not allowed to make because I'm in the middle. Earlier we were talking about your real friends and people that are close to you. They are the only ones who can, tell you the truth. But if somebody is having drinks and they seem to be having lots of lovely time, at which point are friends useful to kind of let them know, mate, you're going a little bit overboard. What's your name?
Jim.
Cheers, Jim. Over to Bobby.
Yeah, what I was going to say, so you're talking about an intervention. You're talking about at what point do you intervene? Now, you could say as a true friend that you intervene at the moment where you think that person's in danger, where you think, well, maybe this close friend of mine won't be in my life anymore if I don't do something about it, and that does make sense. However, I think it is a human being's personal choice, even if they're addicted to a chemical which is controlling them. It is their choice to get fucked up, and it is their choice to fuck themselves up. Now, even though it's the chemical which is really doing that, it's a cycle that they themselves need to break to a degree. Not that I don't believe in interventions, but I believe that the alcoholics who have recovered and have stopped drinking, it's always been as much a personal choice as rather than their family getting them in a room and going, we're sending you to rehab.
So is that really a free will thing? If a chemical is dictating the way you feel, what you want to do next? I mean, I don't know, Imogen, you've not said much, but I feel like you may give us some insight, just like randomly.
Lots of pressure. Oh god,
no pressure. But I'm sure you've got some thoughts about it. Like,
what was this about intervention and who needs to sort of like initiate it, so to speak?
I mean, go on.
Yeah, no, I think it needs to come from internally. It needs to come from yourself. But as you say, depending on context, there's like informed decisions, your history. I know it sounds a bit like patronising to say some people have the knowledge and the experience to make certain decisions and other people don't. But I think you need to take that into consideration as well. So there are some circumstances where it's probably better for it to come from externally, from maybe support workers or from family members, and then other times it has to come from that person, or it's not gonna stick.
But I guess it's just like individual, like dependent, case by case basis.
Like case by case, yeah, I'd say.
Okay. Please do not touch my mouthpiece. Thank you. It's a bit. Well, me or you. Anyway, Neil, what have you got to say about on the subject of alcoholism?
I personally never touched the stuff, but I think
Only vegetable juice.
it's Bovril in there. Bovril.
Bovril cocktails. We were talking about Bovril cocktails earlier. Apparently
I recommend them, by the way. Absolutely recommend them. Particularly if you want to, carry on drinking the day after you've got really pissed because you can't face not drinking.
Thank you. That was really insightful. Anyway, over to Jim.
I've got a friend who's alcoholic, and however much you say, you do it for yourself, do it for me, do it for a lot of people, they've got to make that decision. So ultimately, if you say it too much, they then feel worse. That's the funny thing. I think they feel worse if you just bang on about it. So they've got to do it. They've got to do it, ultimately.
I hope you don't mind me asking, but I think I've got a similar situation with my friend, but let's not talk about me because I'm in the middle. But how did you deal with that? I mean, did you feel like you had to get that message across to your friend, or did you go like, actually, nothing I can do about it. It has to be your decision, not mine. How did you personally actually approach that?
I did a little bit.
Come and take a seat.
I did a little bit at the beginning, and then I thought, well, fuck it. He's got to do it. I said, he's got to do it at the time.
She's a prime minister, by the way.
I know, very good.
Yeah.
But I really thought he's got to do it.
Leader of the Labour Party.
Yeah.
So that's how I dealt with it. It wasn't a hands off, but it was really, he's got to do it himself.
Okay. So what was your role in that? I don't want it to turn into self-help session, but I think it's very interesting because I think it's very easy to kind of talk about theory of various things, but unless somebody shares the experience. Go on, Jim.
Yeah. No, the funny thing is when you've got an alcoholic friend, when they start drinking, they're younger, it's good fun. So everyone's on in that, and it's like mates, he's really good fun, and then he gets belligerent. And then he gets nasty, and you just think, well, but he doesn't know because it's a drug. It's affecting him really bad. It's a DNA thing. I do think that the whole alcohol thing is if your DNA doesn't go with it, you're a bit buggered.
Okay, Neil. Thank you. That was deep. Neil, 1 second. We've not heard anything from Maya. Exactly.
With the intervention thing, I think kind of subconsciously as humans, when people are really pushing on us and telling us to do something, it makes us not want to do it even more. So then if you are going, no, you have to go to rehab, you're going to go to rehab and you're going to get better, that's going to make them not want to get better.
So just do it despite your friends telling that's actually kind of becomes a game or something. Okay, go on then, Dave.
Are you going to say no?
What?
If you go.
I see what you did there. A round of applause for reference to Amy Winehouse. Thank you very much. Hello, new face around the table. What's your name, face?
Arthur.
Hi, Arthur. I'm Margot, and this is everyone else. We're talking about. You just heard what we're talking about. Pretty heavy stuff. Anyway, I'm going to hand over to Neil, and then maybe if you've got something to say, you can share.
Okay. Firstly, I'm not belligerent. Thank you.
Don't take it personally.
What you were saying, Maya, is it?
Maya.
I think there's something about the addicted temperament that stems from sort of depression a lot of the time, and any intervention can feel like the application of more guilt, and so that's to an extent that's why it doesn't work. I've had to deal with. It's nowhere near as dangerous, but addiction to cannabis, which I don't touch anymore. But whenever anybody told me to stop smoking because it wasn't doing me any good, it's like, well, in my mind, it's like, well, it always used to, and screw you guys for, fucking with my good time. I'm having a good time. I wasn't having a good time. I was having a terrible time. But it's
So what was the most what was the hardest thing about it? Was the people telling you, hey, look, I think you should stop, and you just felt like you needed to take a stance and be like, actually, don't tell me what to do.
I know my own mind. I know my own body. None of you know what's going on.
So
I
what
can.
made you change now? Because you say you don't smoke anymore.
But in the end, I realised that I was spending most of my time paranoid and scared and hiding under tables and stuff, and this has got to stop. There must be a reason for it. Oh yeah, it's what those guys have been telling me all along, but I wasn't this. I had to make the decision. I had to come to that conclusion for myself. It doesn't matter how many times they told me. I had to know it.
So it's kind of like you are reiterating the point that Jim made
precisely.
guys
Yeah,
around the table.
precisely.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Arthur?
Well, as Maya said, I think if you're told something and an adult tells you something, you're like, if you're like not sure about something, and if you thought it would be easier to do the thing that you're not meant to do, you might do it.
Has it ever happened to you? Have you ever done something despite your parents?
On the spot.
Ever? Probably not, but
maybe I can't remember because I've been alive for 9 years now.
It's a pretty long time, man. Okay, clap. Mikey, over to you.
Maybe you should ask. Is it Lauren that's addicted to ketchup? But I want to ask a question because, like, you know, say you've got a friend that you think's getting a bit addicted to either alcohol or cannabis. Is there anything that you can say to them that would, you know, how do you actually go about sort of saying, oh, I think you've got a problem? Is there a good way of doing it or a bad way?
Yeah. Any advice from any side of that situation, Dave? You've got a point to make.
Yeah, I mean, I've got quite a lot of friends who, at some point in their lives, have had issues with alcohol.
Or it's empty.
And I think you definitely do have to tell them. You know, I think you
But
just have to.
how do you phrase that?
Well, I don't know. I'm fairly
How did
belligerent,
you do
so
it?
I'll just go and straight up to them and say, "Look, listen, you just."
Was that effective?
Usually, the first response is people deny it straight away. They're like, "No way, I haven't got problems, nothing wrong." And then they, you know, maybe they come around at some point thinking, "Okay, there's been a few times then," and you know, it's a pattern of behaviour. You know, if you're going out with people and you realise that they get completely plastered every time you go out with them, I think you're obliged to tell people that. You know.
So you're saying that just be straight with them, just like up front, it's like.
Yeah, I don't think you don't need to be. What's the word? Judgmental, exactly. It's not about, you know, so I'm not going to say, I didn't go to say to you drinking, you know, I don't approve of it, but I'm going to have to say to you that I think you're drinking too much and it's not good for you. And I can see that that's not helping you, you know, it's making you feel ill or bored or unhappy.
Okay.
I think that's way too dad-like, and I really don't think that is a good method. I think it'd be much better to go from the emotive perspective and just go to them and go, man, I don't want to lose you. I really, really don't want to lose you. You know, I think that's going to be more effective than listen, you're drinking too much, cut it down, buddy. I just don't think that.
I think.
That's very interesting. Okay.
But guilt tripping your friends is basically, you know, they're just like, you know what, I'm not interested because I feel bad usually already, or I've got my own personal issues. And so you just heaping more guilt on me and telling me, you know, that something terrible's going to happen to me is just like, well, I just feel bad about that. I'm going to go and have a drink. I'm going to go home and get on one, you know. Whereas really, I think if you're just non-judgmental and just be honest with them, they might not choose to do what you're saying, but you know, you're basically alerting them, and I think you are obliged to alert people if you think they're doing something destructive.
And isn't it slightly a thing of, you know your friends and you know what methods may work somehow subconsciously, Jim?
Don't you know your name?
It's Bob.
Bob.
Don't tell anyone it's
Bob
Bob.
said about the emotive thing, and I think even when you go down the emotive route, like Arthur says, no, you're still going to do it. And even if someone says, you know, I don't want to lose you, that person might even go even worse than that.
Yeah.
They might even go suicidal. So I think it's
just be sensitive, whatever you do.
Yeah.
Stay
I think
sensitive.
So. The emotive thing is a little, I don't know. It's kind of emotional.
It's hard not to sound patronising.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like Nirvana lyric.
But if you were genuinely worried and it was someone you really knew, I think they would sense that. They wouldn't think it was a pitch. They wouldn't think it was like a pre-rehearsed kind of, you know, world's smallest violin. They really would think that you cared about them. I think if somebody came to me, I mean, I'm a quite a heavy drinker. I drink about sort of 5-6 pints a day.
You've got a drinking problem.
You know,
Everybody just do a big
but you know, if I think if a family member or a friend came to me and was like, you know, these times you've been waking up in strange fields, you know, you know, this is
join the club.
Yeah, this has been going on for too long. I'm really worried. I really don't want you to die. I'm really scared.
Listen to
I think I would. I'd be like, fucking hell, am I going to die? Shit, you know, and that would. Sorry, guys. But that would. I think that would persuade me to make that decision for myself.
Does that work for you? Just like appealing to your kind of emotions, kind of like Not didactic, but kind of.
If I believed them, yeah. If I didn't just think it was
Just like
an emotive
or
pitch,
something.
yeah.
Okay, Arthur, you were dying to say something. Go on.
What if your friend so if I wanted to tell my friend when I was older that you're drinking too much and you need to stop, I would probably get some reasons, because you can't just say
I think that you drink too much.
I think that you drink too much. Well, do you have any proof? And then
good point.
You would have to say how, if you drink too much, this is what you react.
So have you ever seen people drunk?
I think I might have once seen someone drunk. Yeah.
So how would you say to them?
Well, I
idea.
don't really know who they are. I just saw someone going.
Okay.
And they looked a bit
No one
drunk.
that you know.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So how do you motivate that? How do you give reasons? You shouldn't drink so much because. Do you fill the gap, Rachel?
So is it maybe better to come at someone with you drink too much and you turn into a really horrible person, you turn aggressive, or you do these things that you know that person wouldn't be happy to know they do? Is it better to come at it from their angle of what would make them feel bad, that you can genuinely see is happening and worrying you as well, rather than just being I don't want to lose you, or your approach, which is pretty straightforward?
What would work for you, Rachel? What would you need to hear if somebody was really concerned about your?
Yeah, genuine kind of examples of why the thing that I'm doing is too much. I think that's a big part of it. Obviously, you're not going to be understanding that before someone's explained that to you. Okay. So you'd have to have concrete examples of that, and a bit of a motive, and a bit of straightforward.
You need somebody who knows you to kind of break that, kind of explain in the words that you understand. Anyway, Imogen?
Yeah, basically it's a combination then of a sort of intervention and coming to your own decision about your behaviour, because it's a combination of those two things, I think. So yeah, I agree. Examples.
Okay, give examples. Arthur?
It's kind of a bit of problem to say. You've got to work it out how, if that person's a type of person, you've got to work out how they would react if you said whatever, and then you because remember that they've got their own perspective view, so that you can't just go up to them and say, I think you're doing this and you should stop it, because they will think differently to you, because obviously if they thought like you, they wouldn't be drinking or smoking.
Very good point. Yeah. I think that was a very good thing to say.
I think,
Jim,
Arthur, I would actually say that they probably know that. When you say, don't drink, they know, yes, I am a horrible person I think they know it deep down. Yeah. Maybe that's what you were saying.
Which is why you sort of, I'd have to
I just can't get through your various addiction artifices.
My addictions,
Wall of addiction.
Which is why I would
Come on,
slightly.
join us. This is a Papa Talk show.
Which is why I'd slightly disagree with your emotional intervention, because I think you know all the stuff. You know you're harming yourself. You know the dangers. Last thing I think you need is somebody saying, well, if I lost you, it's well, I already feel bad enough. I don't want on my conscience that I'm letting you down as well. That'd be the last thing.
My fear really is. My fear really is, and I know that many of us are drinking on this table. Not necessarily Arthur, but a lot of us are drinking, and
not me, I'm
and we're not necessarily alcoholics. But I do think that even the way that this, not necessarily the way we've talked about it, but just generally this kind of subject, has attached to it a kind of demonisation of alcoholics. And I think that the concept of being blunt and upfront and going, you're drinking too much, this is bad, this is part of that process of demonisation. There's a lot to drink for. There's a good reason why people get messed up. There's a good reason why they drink huge amounts of alcohol. It's because they do have problems, and problems that can't be solved, existential worries, issues, mortality, which in turn is obviously encouraged by heavy drinking. But there's a lot to drink for, and we should treat alcoholics better.
As a symptom of a societal problem.
1 second, we've got new faces around the table, just in case you haven't noticed. Hello, new faces. What are your names, faces?
Shiri, Kerry.
And this is everyone else. Nice to meet you. And I'm me. So, welcome. This is a pop-up talk show. This is Talkaoke. You know all about it. You were kind of on the peripheries. Come and join us if you can, but currently there's no chairs. Anyway, do be around. What's your name?
I'm Peter. I'm otherwise known as Arthur's dad.
Hello. Oh, he just outed you. Sorry, Arthur. There's always that dad who just like kind of lingers about. Anyway, so and there's Dave who just came back from the toilet.
I've got to go. But
What are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts are if we're still talking about drink, are we? I take it.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Just try to enjoy it. Try not to, I don't know. Don't let it take your life over.
Yay, well that deserves a clap, at least one. Okay, so we were talking about, so people drink because they're trying to cover up, there's lots of reasons to drink, lots of excuses to get drunk. What are your excuses to get drunk? Be honest, we all friends here.
Escapism.
What are you escaping from?
Reality, as it stands.
In what way?
Yeah.
In what way? Which aspect of reality? I don't mean to get like massively deep, but fuck it, let's do it. Sorry, Arthur.
Just to have a dance and not think about it, basically.
Okay, just not to think, not overthink, just forget about it.
Yeah, and like you were saying, there's a lot to celebrate as well. So sometimes, exacerbated celebration.
Okay. What about yourself,
Joy?
I think I don't drink to escape, and actually I'm trying to be like being here, really listening to my body. It's kind of saying when you want alcohol, when you don't want alcohol. So
what is your body telling you now?
I just had an alcoholic drink, but I'm on the water.
That's okay.
But I want to say to Arthur, I don't know your position actually, but I've got an 11-year-old kid. How old are you? 9. Okay. My kid loves it when I get smashed because the next day we have like pizza in bed and stuff like that.
Okay, so it's quite beneficial.
Do it.
So you don't have to get drunk to reap benefits of somebody else being drunk.
I kind of try to make sure he's not there when I get smashed.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
the day after is good for children.
Yeah. Sure. No problem. Yeah. Anyway, we're not judging you. So Maya, over to you.
I was going to talk about how you always see like mild alcoholics on TV and everything or like in films, because when something bad or like sad has happened to them, they'll go to a bar and drink and like talk to the bartender about it and everything. So it's kind of the norm to be mildly alcoholic, like because you see it on media everywhere.
So is it like, are you saying that maybe it's okay that people experience problems, we all do, but it's kind of been normalized now that when you are having a tough time, you go to a bar, you have a drink, that's just like, oh yeah, that's a way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of, okay, what about you? Would you find yourself in the future kind of resorting to that? I don't know.
I don't think so, because people around me, like older figures that like they've like struggled with alcohol problems and stuff, and I'd never want to like be that sort of person, because it's just not nice and everything. But then also you have to understand that there are emotional issues with it, but like when you're younger and stuff, like your parents and like adult figures and everything, they'll go no, alcoholics are bad, you must never speak to them, they are bad, like everything they do is bad. But actually like they're dealing with deep stuff and everything, so
they're not bad people, they're just having a rough time, and you have to kind of give them that time to kind of help them through it if you can, kind of thing. Jim, I'm gonna go anti-clockwise here, so
I think it's a social thing, because you look at other continents,
oh, hi,
you look at
onlookers, by the way.
Spain or France, and they do it socially, they drink and they eat, and it's all part of the course. So they're not alcoholics apparently, but in this country we just drink, we don't eat. But it is a different thing, it's a social. But in Spain and stuff like that, oh, you're an alcoholic. They don't have that kind of negativity that we have about alcoholics.
Is there a different culture of drinking then?
Well, I think so, because it's with food, and it's a social thing that is a little bit more like getting absolutely plastered, what we tend to do here. And that's an interesting, that's a sort of English psyche of just getting absolutely
smashed.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob, sorry, I'm just gonna ignore you right now because I just need to take the people who had their hands up. But you can raise your hand so it can be after Arthur, that's no problem. Oh, wait.
In relation to what you were saying about normalising a drinking culture, so like mild alcoholics going to a bar to sort out their troubles, is that maybe because that's our only legitimised escapist drug? We'd go somewhere else. We do all sorts of things in moderation, perhaps if we had other options. But all we've got is all we've got is the sauce.
I mean, I
don't want to bring it back to sauce. Sorry, the booze. Sorry, danger there. Danger.
Yeah, red alert. Arthur.
I think maybe if they've like had a loss maybe in life, and they might think it might make them happier about life, and instead of like seeing the downside of it, and they might think it would bring their hopes higher for other things.
Okay, Bobby, over to you, and then we can.
No, I was going to say we do drink and eat here in the UK. We call it Weatherspoons, but I do understand.
Smooth.
I do understand what you mean, but what I was going to say, I think the reason why I agree with you about the legitimised sort of nature of alcohol and the reason why that's in film, because if it was any other drug, then the character would look sort of maybe somewhat more deranged, and he's simply, his last resort is the bar. But I think the reason why alcohol is a last resort, it's not just because it's legalised in the way it is, it's because it works. It's brilliant. I mean, you get the hangover, that's pretty much, aside from the addiction and the hangover, the only real problem with alcohol.
What the
it's a great solution.
Is going to be
it's brain damage, it's temporary brain damage. You're not going to remember the night, you knock yourself out.
If you went out and took a load of coke, you'd feel great as well. You'd forget all your problems. It's not. And then you'd feel terrible in the morning. But it's normalised because it's legal. But it's not. It's not alcohol's fault. Do you know what I mean?
I'm just going to go over to Imogen, even though you are making a really excellent points there, even if a little bit edgy. Imogen?
I was just going to say reasons that we drink, like relating to your point about different cultures, is lowering inhibitions, and here maybe we're generally uptight, and it's like not just escapism, but it's just like kind of, just trying to sort of lower our inhibitions and become, it's like a mandate to act a certain way and be confident. So I don't know, but maybe in other countries they've got that natural innate, va-va-voom, and we're just like, we need to,
I love that
without
word,
drinking,
that
so
phrase.
they're just,
So is it just a pure coincidence that alcohol made it to the legal realm as opposed to cocaine that hasn't? Hello, new face, Peter, who were not
Arthur's
sitting
dad.
earlier. Yeah, Arthur's dad. Sorry, Arthur. Unfortunately, I can't just
everyone,
ban him.
Just call me
He's
Arthur's
free to.
dad. Everyone
Arthur's dad. Hi. No, I'm gonna call you Peter.
Okay.
Soz, mate. Don't worry.
I
Anyway,
have to say I completely agree with the point made over there in terms of
did you say pint or point?
points.
Oh.
Freudian. I think I used to find it difficult to go somewhere and want to have a dance and not drink anything. And a lot of people feel, if I'm going to want to dance, I've got to have something to drink as well. But actually, now I can go and dance and not drink and kind of like lose.
You reckon?
Yeah, and lose my. Yeah, definitely can. Yeah. And like totally, you got to kind of let go, haven't you? And I think it's the alcohol which people feel allows them to let go, and certainly it does help. And I do drink as well, but I can also go out and I say, okay, I don't want to drink, or maybe because I'm driving or some other reason, or I just don't feel like it. Or I don't want to. I don't want to have a hangover in the morning because it's really difficult when all the kids wake up and like you got a lot of stuff to do.
Don't give your dad any nuisance.
But I think it's like if you can kind of get over that and say no, and start to feel that you can kind of let go without kind of resorting to some.
So is letting go is just a state of mind. Like if you tell yourself that you need to have a drink to let go, then that's what happens. If you just let go because you make yourself Imogen, don't go without sharing your final thoughts. I'm not gonna notice that, but I have. What are your final thoughts?
You should install one of these in every city in the world, or 5.
Brilliant. Anybody around this table has a power to make that happen, make that happen, please. That's by popular demand. Anyway, you probably can, but hang on. I think Arthur had his hand up. It's going to be quite interesting because he's making comment about his dad's point. Take it away.
Well, I think first I have two sisters. Both of them are littler than me, and then also my dad definitely can dance without drinking. He can even dance.
I don't believe that.
Can't you, Dad? Can't you?
Come on, let's
You can.
I do not. No, you can't. But what we can do, we can dance around the table. Okay. Well, one thing I need to tell you is, do not dance. Do not. What are the rules of the talking? Oh no. Okay. Yeah. Carry on. Yeah. Basically, we just need to give him a tune. What's the tune? Team.
Can you beatbox?
I cannot beatbox. Can you? Who can beatbox? If you think you can dance without a drink, join in now. Stand up, join in now. I'm gonna join you.
Experiment is fine.
Yeah, thank you. What's your name?
I'm Joe.
Joe is dancing and
Kerry
and
Sherry
and
Maya.
Maya, you're not really dancing because you're sitting down, mate. Come on, guys, we're doing this. This is Supernormal Festival. We're just having a bit of a bounce. Yes, Jim, that's right. Give us a tune. I like that. This is a collective beatboxing, Neil. Oh, up a notch. You can actually do it. Excellent. Bobby, why are you sitting there? What's wrong with your legs? Go on. Yeah, come on. Beat. Okay, Arthur. Don't break the microphone.
Let's go.
And go back to a civilized conversation. Hey guys, that deserves a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause. Thank you, Arthur's dad, also known as Peter, back in the day. Neil?
Can I also respond to
Thanks, guys, that was ace.
Arthur's dad?
Arthur, did you know you had two dads? I didn't. What? Okay. What? My point exactly. When did that happen?
So if you can lose yourself dancing without drinking or anything, does that make sort of repetitive beats or music a mind-altering substance or product?
So I think dance.
1 second.
I think
Peter?
dance in itself can be, like the movement itself can be quite.
Yeah. The Sufis get themselves into trances by dancing.
Who does? Sorry.
Sufis. It's a kind of religion,
Yeah.
Islamic religion. But it's interesting what you were saying, because I remember being in Shambhala Festival last year and I hadn't taken anything or drunk anything, but it's the fact that everyone else was probably off their face meant that I could just let go. Do you know what I mean? So it's not just, it's somehow like it's not just what you've taken. Yeah, it's like I could just go for it because no one was going to look at me and think, oh, they're crazy because everyone else is off their face.
Okay, so do you have to be off your face to go crazy? I just want to ask the girls because like you're sitting here going like I've got something to say about that.
Well, I was just gonna ask, but this person just left. Like,
Hey,
is it about
person,
what
do you
everybody
think you're
else is doing? Like, can you lose yourself, whatever, because everybody else is doing it? Or
I think it does. Yes, I think it does depend at the mood of everyone else. Like I couldn't do that, like at Liverpool Street Station or something like that.
Why not? Does that make you quite uptight then? Or?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Does anybody dance on the road?
I think that like, cause for you can.
Arthur, the question is, do you ever dance on your own? Be honest. We are all friends here. We're not going to tell your dad.
No. Well, not really, but I can dance when like someone's like saying go on dance and then gives me a rhythm to dance to.
Bobby, don't you think I'm gonna let you go without your final thoughts, mate?
I think everyone should dance all the time. I think there is a way of tapping into the party spirit without having to drink. I definitely believe in that. But at the same time, being in a nightclub without any alcohol, I just don't think that'd be as fun as being absolutely smashed. That's it.
How are you gonna get yourself into a festive spirit tonight?
I'm gonna drink 15 pints.
You're on. Round of applause to Bobby. He's been here now and then earlier, and now he's gonna go off and have a lovely festival. And I wish that to you as well. I really am desperate for a toilet, but I will sacrifice myself, and I'll take Maya's point first.
I was gonna say it's become a lot like if you don't drink at a party, then you're like the party pooper and like you're no fun, and like everybody's gonna be like, oh, why ain't you drinking? Oh, you're no fun. You're boring. Oh, you're just bringing everybody else down because you are. But like if yeah, it's just become the social norm that if you don't drink, then you're boring and everyone else is fun and you're not.
But if you're sober at a party and people say like, I'm just being boring, like, do you feel boring, or are you actually made to think that, or just like, actually screw you guys, I don't care, I'm just gonna stand here if I want to, or dance if I want to or not?
I don't know, but I think peer pressure is a thing because we're humans. So if everybody else is doing something, then we'll want to do it.
So does I think your dad in a. Okay, hi uncle. You are wearing a deer hat, by the way, just to let you know. But you've not been around the table. Come and join us. Yeah, cowboy. I'm talking about you. Yeah, that's right. You come and sit. Oh, whatever. You will come and join us. It's inevitable. Anyway, Maya.
I forgot what I was saying.
Perfect. And that on that point, I'm gonna pass the microphone over to your good self.
Sherry, I just want to say again to Arthur, I think you're so cool, and your dad, that we have at my house with like 2 kids, we have those kitchen parties where we just play music that the adults think are cool. Is cool.
Do you play Prince?
Yeah, sometimes.
Nice.
And different type of things. And then the adults are the ones who drink, like, sorry, not drink, who dance all over the place on the kitchen table, whatever. And the kids are the ones who are like more inhibited and they need more time to start dancing. But then they dance without any alcohol. That's super cool.
I'm
Okay.
unmiked, but
It looks like
no, I'm not unmiked. We've got a new table around the face. Obviously, I mean the other way around. Hello, what's your name?
Jasmine.
Hi, Jasmine. Arthur's gonna make a point.
you're going to jump out or what? I mean, let's. Yeah, well then, in which case, sorry, Arthur, just make a little bit of a deal about this. Let's give Margot a big round of applause. It's not something you do surreptitiously.
I was gonna just slip out.
Yeah, just slip out, just slip away from the party, but you just don't do that. I'm going to jump back in and try and pick up the pieces of where we are. So this is still Talkaoke, there's still the same people around the table. Arthur's about to say something. Let's just get Arthur's point because it looks like it's on the tip of his tongue.
I think that you don't have to. Like if someone says to you, you should drink because it's a party.
Yeah.
But you don't have to because you can have fun without drinking. Because in like a lot of Disney films, like at the end, like all the characters in the movie dance along to a fun song.
Are they drinking?
Well, I don't think people would be drinking in Disney films, which are PGs.
Okay. All right. Okay. Is that a accurate portrayal of a party, the Disney non-drinking party? Does it happen? How important is the booze? Anyway, I'm back at
laughing gas.
I'm back in the middle of the table. So what I'm quickly going to do is just explain what this is. This is Talkaoke, it's a private talk show. We were just talking to Mike. We talked about all sorts of things today. I'm not going to go through it now, but I'm just going to very, very quickly get everyone's name just to reorientate myself. We know Arthur. What's your name?
Arthur.
And
Rowan.
And
Carrie. Sherry.
Maya.
Rachel.
Peter. Jim.
Jasmine.
What was it?
Jim.
Jim. Yeah.
Jasmine.
Jasmine.
Neil.
Neil, and I'm Mikey. And I guess right now we're talking about: do you need to get smashed to have a good time, or is it fairly possible? Is it realistic to do it when you're sober? And if so, is it just more fun to do it when you're smashed, or is it better to do it when you're sober? These are some of the questions we're talking about right now. What you were going to say something, Neil?
This is going back a few minutes, but you were saying something about escapism, I think, earlier on. I think for me, drinking a bit of booze sort of augments reality. The same with a lot
gives it like an extra flavour somehow.
Yeah. I mean, for what reason do you take any substance that alters your mind, even coffee? You know, you're not trying to escape anything necessarily. You're just adding another dimension,
another colour, another mood to the palate. Yeah, exactly.
Quite.
Yeah, 5D exactly, Arthur.
Well, sorry, I can't get smashed, so I can't have a good time.
Yeah. do you think that people under 18 should be allowed to get smashed? Should they? At what point should people be allowed?
Well, because you can't entirely get. Like, if you get like really, really like out of hand, you shouldn't do that when you're under 18.
Right. But what about over 18s? Do they really need to get smashed to have a good time? We've established they don't have to.
I think that that they can have a good time when they're smashed, but they don't have to. They can.
Yeah. So they've just got the option basically.
They can.
Exactly. They've got options.
If they feel better, they can. If they feel better, they feel better. When they're having a good time, if they get smashed.
Are you looking forward to the time when you can get smashed?
Well, not really.
No. Okay. So where do we go with this?
I think what Arthur said about 5D was quite interesting because any drug you take, it alters, and as long as you're conscious of that and you use it kind of responsibly, that sounds really. You can then use it as a kind of tool to enjoy yourself.
So
you
does
don't
give another flavour, another perspective.
Yeah, another colour. Yeah. You don't have to. You said dad. Let's hear.
Do you think that is Jim being too dad-like by saying that?
In a really endearing way, so I just meant it in the highest possible complimentary way. But what I wanted to say is like my stance on things is if I can't do it sober, there's no point doing it. Whatever I do when I'm drunk, be it, for instance, using what you said, dancing silly or whatever over the top, I have to be comfortable to do that without a drink, and if I can't, then there's a problem. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, you can't do that when you're sober.
Food poisoning. If I got food poisoning, there, sure, but
okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Is that the rule? If you can't do it when you're sober, then you can't do it when you're drunk.
I'm not sure. I'm not. Forgive me. I'm not entirely sure what you mean. But you can't do it, or you wouldn't do it.
If I need alcohol to dance stupid, then I just need to get a grip and just decide whether I want to dance stupidly or
I don't know.
What is it about? If I can't dance over the toply without having a drink, then it's a thing now. By the way. Hey, look, don't judge me. We met on the way to the toilets, by the way. So if I need an alcohol drink to get me into dance in a funny way, then I just need
you
to
think
relax
that's a bit
bit.
sad? Is that what you're saying? It's a bit sad. Yeah. Okay. Is it a bit sad to need booze to actually dance in a stupid manner, or over the toply?
Are we getting back to the territory of demonising the drinker at that point? No, that's a slightly dodgy territory.
For me, I've been doing Talkaoke 19 years. For the first 3 or 4 years, I had to. I know, but what I have to do. I've had too many drinks. I've had to have a few drinks when I first started doing this to actually have the courage to go in the middle. So now I don't need it. As you can tell, I'm completely sober. But Maya, what are you going to say?
I don't think her point is demonizing alcoholics and stuff, because it's when they're realizing that they have a problem. Because if you do need alcohol to dance or something, then that and you don't realise that until you're sober and everyone's dancing and you don't have a drink or something, and then you're like, oh, I need alcohol to do this, and
is that a bad thing?
Well, yeah, because that is a moment of realisation thing.
Okay.
I have a problem, sort of.
Okay, you've got a problem if you need booze to have a dance.
I just want to say, having a dance or having public speaking, well, it's not like a necessity. I think you're an alcoholic if you need alcohol to go through the day, to go to work and function. If you need alcohol for a dance, it's two special things that you do together, but it's not a necessity.
Okay.
I'll be back. Get
some
drinks.
Yeah, get some booze in so we can get a proper conversation going. Okay, so where are we going to go with this? What, Peter?
I just think, I drink partly because I enjoy the process of, what it tastes like. I don't drink things I don't like the taste of. I like real ales. I really like them. I like trying lots of different things. So I kind of tend to drink in halves, so I can try more things,
More
kind
stuff.
of slow it down a bit and kind of, but I certainly think I don't like doing it in excess. I kind of like doing a bit of moderation.
So moderation. Do you need that glass of booze to actually have a good time? That's what we're talking about now.
They're really nice.
You need to wake up. Is that not actually booze? Is that coffee?
It's a cold coffee with a foam.
Is it espresso martini?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that could go back to our other class drinks conversation that we had earlier on. But anyway, this is Talkaoke Freeform Talk Show. At the moment, we're talking about, do we need to get up to have a good time, or can we just do it nice and dry and sober, Margot?
I just wanted to clarify. I wasn't saying you don't have to get if you require some sort of substance to see you through something so trivial, if you think about it as a dance, then you just need to let go a bit. I'm not saying, you know.
How do you let go if you can't do it through booze?
Sorry?
If you can't let go through drinking, getting drunk, how else can you let go?
Breathing, just calming your mind, focusing on what you've got to do, just like focus on your friggin' objective, and also think about what is the worst that can happen if you dance and make yourself look stupid. What is the worst that can happen?
Okay.
Jim is nodding like crazy.
No, I just wanted to bring up like maybe what the root of a lot of the escapism or the need around this thing is to do with judgment and expectation.
Yeah. What do you mean? We're scared of judgment.
We're scared of judgment, and we're also always dependent on like what we're expected to be doing, and this is a way of removing both of those things.
Right.
And they're always constant.
So once we pour the booze in, we don't care what people think.
Yeah,
we don't care what people expect.
Yes.
Okay, Arthur.
There are some things that you can't be smashed to do. So if like
Yeah.
That was definitely for you.
Okay. Like what? Give us an example.
Well, you can't let's say you can't qualify for a proper job where people depend on you if you get smashed every single day. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that because you're letting people down.
Unless you're a comedian or something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
Or an airline pilot.
Airline pilot. Yeah. Artists. What are you gonna say?
I was going to say, not everybody has to dance in a crazy way. It's okay not to be fat.
You don't have to. Just the same as the expectation
Exactly. We're judging people again. It's it's okay to drink, and it's okay to not dance. That's cool as well.
Yeah.
What? Drink and not dance? Unbelievable. What's the point of that? What's that?
It's kind of English. Come on, sir.
What's that?
It's just okay to be English or North European and have some inhibitions, and it's okay. Not everybody has to be crazy far
Okay, so this is an English thing where you actually just don't dance even when you get drunk. Yeah.
I just want to say it's just a thing that I think dance is a good example because you are moving your body in a in a stupid way. You wouldn't walk to work. It's not a ministry of silly walks, right?
You dance to work?
How many people do you see on London Underground, travelling?
Yeah, but why wouldn't it be nicer?
I'm not saying that's not acceptable. I would quite happily do that, even sober. But the point is, this is not a norm that we are accustomed
so why don't people dance to work?
I think dance is about sex, really.
Really?
Yeah. I would say dance is sexual. Sexual.
Sorry.
Sexual. Yeah, I know, but he'll know. He'll be all right. He'll be all right with that, won't he?
Is it some kind of sexual expression?
Yeah. For both parties, for yourself and for your
audience,
other people. Yeah.
I think you just used the word that I was going to say. I won't bring sex into it, but it's a form of helping you to express yourself in whatever way. Dance is a form of expression.
So it's a form of physical expression.
Yeah, and you were giving the example that you needed a drink initially to do this kind of thing. That's to help you express yourself and kind of feel confident to kind of come out and express yourself in whatever way. But it could be dance, it could be speaking, it could be sex, as you say.
Okay. So where do we want to go with this? Do we want to talk about dancing to work? Do we want to talk about expression, self-expression?
Well, I think I wouldn't mind dancing to school, but it's not about what you think about it. It's what about other people think about it. Because you can't entirely go around if you were the Prime Minister and you walked everywhere going, you couldn't do that because then people would think you'd gone
do lally. Yeah, okay. Could the Prime Minister dance his way out of 10 Downing Street?
That is the sad thing. That's the sad thing about being politicians, is that they have to think all the time about what other people think about themselves.
Yeah.
But
can we dance our way out of the European Union now that we're voting for Brexit?
We have already.
Is that okay?
I think it's nice to be able to it's nice to be able to express yourself without having to think about what everyone else thinks about what you're doing.
Okay. Is that a privilege, or should everyone be able to do it?
I think it's a difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
I certainly think it's what everyone should aspire to do.
Yeah. Okay. We're just talking about dancing. Why don't people dance their way to work? That's what we're talking about. And now that we voted for Brexit, should we be dancing our way out of the European Union? And we're talking about dance and politics. Yeah, but
Dances European.
Sorry?
Have we got any native dances that we could dance? I mean, apart from Moorish dancing. It's we haven't got an.
So
It's been rebranded, by the way. It's called Boris dancing now.
Boris dancing.
Oh, what? Why am I getting a boo for that? That was quite clever. Anyway.
Okay, so yep.
Somebody was just saying you wouldn't celebrate the leaving the European Union, but this thing dancing is a little bit about celebrating. It's about it's enjoying your body, enjoying feeling okay. So if you're not dancing on your way to work or school, it's because actually you don't like it there very much.
Yeah.
And why would you dance?
Yeah. Yeah. Has anyone got a job that they like, or do you like going to school?
Well, it depends what day it is.
Yeah.
If it's a day where I don't feel good, I don't want to go to school. I probably wouldn't want school, but you have to.
But some days you do enjoy going to.
And also, I probably wouldn't dance to school because it's just too tiring. Because you would have to dance all the way there.
Okay. So has anyone here?
Just one thing.
Yeah.
I go to school, and the school is called The Hill because it's on a massive hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's maybe a why.
Okay, so that makes it tricky. Okay, personally, but we're talking about, I guess, a more abstract dancing to work or to school. Does anyone enjoy their job? And if so, would you dance to work? Yeah.
I work from home, and regularly I either drum on the table. I get my son's darbuka.
Could you just
and I
dance down
drum.
the stairs, basically?
Well, yeah, up and down the stairs, and in my study, which is at home.
Okay, so it's easier to dance to work if you work at home. We've worked that one out. Okay.
Yeah, I read a postcard that says if you work from home, you only have to sound like you're ready for work at 9:30.
Yeah.
You don't actually have to be ready for work at 9:30.
Yeah.
You just have to sound like you are.
Okay. And what about from this side of the table, dancing to work? Would you
I think abolish wage labour and then dance everywhere.
So, what do you mean abolish wage labour? You have to expand that on that a little bit. Yeah. It's a big concept. It's a big concept.
Well, the exchange might not be based on capital exchange or an economic exchange, and therefore we could exchange dancing instead. As
dancing
an economy.
could be a currency.
It could be a currency.
That would be great.
Okay. Well, you certainly get more people. You certainly get more people dancing then. Yeah. What about if dance was a currency? Could that work?
How do you save it? How do I give you a dance that you can then give on to someone else for some other service or good?
You have to just give the electric kind of thing.
Would there be a sort of a judgment on who danced better, and that would be worth more, or how does it work?
Yeah.
I mean.
Okay.
Or is it just the how much you dance, and is that disadvantaging the disabled?
Okay, quantity or quality?
I think judgment doesn't need dance doesn't need judgment.
Right, okay.
Dance doesn't need judgment.
How can dance be a currency if you can't judge how good a dance is?
Because it's all up to the individual. Dance is up to the individual.
Right.
Simple as that.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful thing when
Okay.
you see an individual dance. So.
Okay, so dance is. Could it be a currency? Do you agree with? Was it
Kerry? Yeah.
Kerry.
A currency.
A currency. Could it be a currency?
I would say no.
No.
I would say no.
No.
Just
We're talking about could dance be a currency instead of all this money shit and exchanging services? Why don't we just exchange dance? Come on. Give us some moves and give me a burger, and I will do you a 6-step.
I think with basic income for everybody, we would not need to exchange things. We don't need to accumulate capital through dance. We can just dance for fun.
So what's this basic income for everyone? You have to explain
It's
it to
like
me.
I get 900 quid a month, you get 900 quid a month.
Who's going to pay for it all? Or are we just going to dance?
We're all going to pay for it all. The money's there.
Okay. What do people think about this? Could we all get Could we all get 900 quid a month?
The money's not there if we're all dancing, is it? If we're all dancing, who's earning the money to pay the 900 quid a month?
Okay. Okay. 900 quid a month. Everyone gets it. How we get it, I don't know. What do people think about that? Would that make more people dance?
I know who would be giving out that money. Michael Jackson. Yeah. So what?
But why would Michael Jackson give out the money?
He died in terrible death.
So?
Yeah. Okay.
That's exactly what
Okay. So Okay. Yeah.
Can I just say, there's no way that dancing could ever work as capital, and
Yeah.
that's because the Western world would never allow it to happen, because they would know that instantly the whole world's economy would turn upside down on its head, and the third world would be so much better at dancing. And they
Yeah.
And
Why is the third world
so
better
they
at
were-
dancing?
Because they can express themselves better.
Okay. I mean, what do you think? What do you think about was it Cherry? About Cherry's point about let's give everyone 900 quid a month just for the sake of it, and then everyone will be dancing. Will they be happy with that? Would you be happy with 900 quid a month, Sam? She's not. 900 quid a month. That's what we're talking about. Where's the money going to come from? You don't care. Exactly. So it's a good idea. Let's go. Let's give this. Where's the money? Could it work? Could it work? Well, I don't think you need to dance. I think we've yeah.
I volunteer with a cooperative in Reading, which is like food cooperative, and everyone there is paid exactly the same amount.
Yeah.
It's a non-hierarchical structure, which kind of does work in that context.
Does everyone get 900 quid a month?
No, they don't. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the same wage for everybody, so whatever it is, it's the same. I think it could kind of lead to other problems. I also kind of spent some time here at Braziers Park. Obviously, it's a kind of big experiment in everybody living kind of equally, and it does. And I've had some interesting conversations with people who lived in communities and commune type things, and it does kind of cause all kinds of other issues. So I'm not sure it could necessarily just be the answer to everything. There's always going to be.
What are the problems that you anticipate?
I guess to a certain extent, what I'm thinking is that human society tends to kind of work in a hierarchical way, and if you kind of end up with a kind of natural hierarchy tending to, like today we were doing this experiment down in I was performing with the jug choir to kind of warm up, and we did something called flocking, where everyone tries to get in a big crowd all as close together, and then we all start moving, and then you end up kind of following a leader, and I guess that's a kind of example of where you end up with people tending to kind of follow somebody. So I don't know. I mean, it's a nice idea, but can it actually? Would it work? There are kind of problems. Problems do arise with these kind of idealistic, utopian kind.
Do you want 900 quid? No. Okay.
I think this might be my sign that I have to go and clean Arthur's teeth.
We call it 900 quid a month. Could it work? Should everyone just get 900 quid a month? That's what we're talking about.
I reckon that if we weren't paying people in the job centre lots of money to distribute piddly old benefits and test whether people are entitled to them, we'd have lots of money spare to give people 900 a month, and if we weren't sending people to prison to I'm sure it's hard work, but I'm saying, but it's an unnecessary job. If everybody just got their £900, that would mean the admin wouldn't be there, and then if we weren't putting people in prison because they didn't need to nick stuff to live, then we wouldn't need to pay for prison.
People stop sitting if they got 900 quid a month?
I think they people would still buy stuff.
Say no.
People, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's
What's
why.
that?
That's why.
Well, hang on. Neil?
Well, stealing doesn't come down to just how much money you have. Rich people, I know so many rich people I met at uni, my age, who just were kleptomaniacs in different shops throughout their whole teenage years. And then I'm from a bit of a
Yeah.
And I'm not very rich, and I've just never been like that. I once stole an earring from Topshop and felt really, really bad.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Do you feel bad
So-
about it now?
No, I'm over it.
Okay.
I have moved on. But back to the commune thing, I was thinking, isn't it kind of the same as saying, so I live with a lot of people that direct this other festival, and I get really annoyed at the fact that we all have to eat the same thing every day, which is so, like, not that annoyed, but just, that's a kind of similar, like, everyone has different tastes and what they want, and wouldn't it be the same
you
if
all cook
everyone...
together like a big bunch of hippies and then...
No, so like one person will cook, but everyone will eat the same meal every night, and it's like people have different tastes. If everyone had 900 quid a month, would you not then just like one person would end up saving their money every month and never doing anything because they want to get this one particular thing or travel?
Would that be a bad thing?
So, no, but if you were the kind of person that would want to travel with your money and you wanted to go really far with it, you would have a really long wait ahead of you.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, so the 900 quid is just 900 quid. Do you fancy 900 quid a month? Could it work? It seems to be. It's a very popular idea on the table. Final thought.
I think this is brilliant. Just everyone should learn to express themselves in whatever way, and
Be it the medium of dance or conversation.
Yeah. And I think this is a great way of helping people actually to do that. So thank you very much.
We're here tomorrow as well, so do come back.
I think,
Jim?
Yeah, like, was it Dom said every town centre should have one of these. It's
Okay.
It's a really good, fantastic.
Okay, every town centre needs a Talkaoke table. If you know anyone in any councils, just give them. There's our number there. Do you? Winchester Council.
Well, Hampshire, but yeah.
Okay.
I'll get you in the centre of Hampshire if you want. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're willing to. We can drive down there in a van, no problem. We're talking about. As we're not getting paid 900 quid, there might be a little bit of an invoice that we send you. But but having the taxpayer will exactly. Arthur, final thought.
Well, one last thing. If you could all do that for me, I would be really happy because I would be rich when I'm older. Thank
Will
you.
you like this 900 quid?
Yes, and I am back tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Okay, we might be talking about something completely different tomorrow. Okay, so
So I'm really interested in the idea of a basic income.
Yeah.
I think it could be something that really worked. But I'd be worried about how it would actually affect the economy as a whole. Would our 900 quid become devalued very quickly and soon we wouldn't be able to support ourselves on that 900 quid?
Yeah, would because there'd be so much extra money going into the economy, would that not?
There wouldn't be more money. There would just be a redistribution of money, and it would support the economy because people who didn't have money would suddenly have money to spend. So you're supporting the economy, aren't you? That's how it works. Where money is created, it's created to fund debt. That's the creation of money. So if everybody's got money, you're not devaluing it, you're increasing its value.
Okay, I'm not sure if I completely follow the logic, but I've heard stuff like that said before in a different order. So yeah,
but then if everyone's got the same, then prices will go. People will put prices up because they know they can afford things. So then it will go up, and then that's what I think. £900.
The prices of what? What the prices of what?
Well, food. People know that. If something costs £1 now, everyone's got 900 quid. They put it up to £2. So.
Right. Okay. Okay. I mean, is that how it works? I think that one, Rowan, just needs to change the battery on it. Yeah, go.
I think basic income is not going to be just a thing on its own, and everything else will stay shit as it is. So so rents will be like better managed, and education will be free. In that ideal world where we have basic income, all these other things won't be commodified in the same way. So ideally, it won't be all shit and just 900 quid a month.
Yeah. Hang on a sec, Rowan. Just turn the TV on again.
I can only deal with one ideal at a time.
Yeah, okay. So everything will be better because and we don't need to be in the European Union either, for that matter. And sorry, it's just a Brexit comment, but anyway.
€100 a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say, we were talking about class earlier. So if everybody had their £900 or euros or whatever it was, how would that affect people's class stuff? And would they feel it's more important if you're a middle class thing to spend it on Veuve Clicquot, and that would all be marketed in champagne? On champagne, on Veuve Clicquot.
Oh, Veuve Clicquot.
And if you're someone who actually just likes endless, porn, you should just spend it all on that, really. So I don't know, interesting about the marketing of when everybody's got the same.
Okay.
I think in England, class is not related to money, so the same shit would like prevail.
Everything would pretty much. Would it even change anything if everyone gets 900 quid a month? Because in a way, most of us probably do get 900 quid a month anyway.
Not before work.
Yeah. Yeah.
When people want more money, it's not the money they're after; it's the status. It's what they can then put up on within. So it comes back to this hierarchy.
Yeah.
No, some people are hungry. Some people.
Anyway, you finish off your point. Don't listen. Don't let the heckler shout you down. Finish off your point.
What we say about hierarchy before, some people want to put themselves up on a hierarchy. That's what they use the money for at the moment. I don't think that will change.
Yeah. So what would they spend that money on to get them up the hierarchy?
Whatever gives them the status. It's people want. When they get bankers get the bonuses, whatever. It's not because they go and spend their yacht, they spend it on a Porsche, whatever, to get the status. It's to show where they are in the society hierarchy.
We're talking about the idea of like giving everyone £900 a month just for the sake of it, so we don't have to worry about unemployment benefit, sickness benefit, whatever. We just give everyone £900 a month. Could it work? Some people say yes. Some people say, would it too much money in the economy? That's what we're talking about right now. Arthur?
I really think, you know, some of you around here like get a lot of money every day, but I only get £5. I only get £5 a month as pocket money. So you're saying that I should get £900 for pocket money a month? Are you saying that?
Right, yeah, it sounds alright, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, what was your point?
I was going to say, if you're already well off and you get the £900 as well, then that's when it's about status and you can buy it on whatever you like. But if you don't have that much money anyway and you get the £900, that's when it's about actual necessities, because like nowadays, like necessities like food and everything like are all like the prices are rising, so that's why people would need £900 if they weren't as well off as others.
So do you think it's a good idea?
Necessities.
Would it put the price of food up if everyone got 900 quid?
If we're talking about it in this ideal world, then no.
Okay. Okay.
I think ideally it would only work if you like publicly regulated all services. Like, you can't just give people £900 and then have capitalism still be capitalism in the way that it's working.
Why?
Because the prices would rise and it would just suddenly £900 would be nothing. You'd actually have to make it like a universally valid. Like you'd have to have universally regulate all things.
Okay, so you'd have to fix the price of things like basic foodstuffs. Would it? Some people are saying that around the table it would devalue what 900 quid means. Other people say no. Right?
Yeah, it couldn't exist in isolation. That's ridiculous. It would have to.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, as in you couldn't just magically give £900 to people because it just.
What would happen?
It would destabilise things in a bad way.
Why?
Because the prices of things that everyone buys will just skyrocket. Luxury goods probably won't change, but there's things like water, electricity rates, things like that, bills, rents, especially rents would absolutely just take off.
It has to be in combination with nationalising like essential industries, wouldn't it? Otherwise, it's not a save, is it? It's a
so you'd have to nationalise.
It's a raising of the bar in capitalism.
Okay, so it's just giving the rich people in the way the landlords are going to get all the money in the end. That's what you're saying, really, isn't it? Yeah.
I just want to say about like rich people, poor people. This is England. Like there is no class mobility here, so. The rich people are already sorted and will continue to be rich. Poor people will not become rich through this 900 quid a month. There has to be like a much wider systemic kind of change,
right?
Which kind of devastates the possibility for somebody to accumulate that much capital and through extraction and all the rest of it.
Okay, so pretty much everyone around the table. No, I think everyone around the table is saying that they use the 900 quid is part of a multi-pronged, multifaceted approach to make things fairer. For some reason, we seem to want things like class mobility, equality, stuff like that.
Lefties, is that what it is?
That's what we seem to want. But the 900 quid, does everyone sort of agree that 900 quid a month by itself won't really do anything?
Well I think.
Yeah.
I think that only the people who actually need £900 a month should get £900 a month.
Who's that?
If because every time I go into town and go to like a shoe shop, go to Clark's, get some new school shoes, I see there's like this place where a homeless person is, and I just always feel sad for that homeless person.
Yeah.
Maybe they should be the ones getting £900 a month.
What about if they spend it on heroin?
Well,
Going back to the previous
would they
conversation.
think about it? Would they use it? Because they know that they don't have a home. They can't be safe. Like, they can't be secure somewhere. So they would think that they need to use it wisely.
Yeah.
Every month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, when you do that, you're back in a situation where you need to spend a lot of money administering a system. You got to spend a lot of money on getting people to work out who deserves 900 quid, and then you're wasting a lot of your money that you could just.
So you think you should just give it to everyone, and then those that need it will get it?
The whole point of the 900 quid for everybody thing is that you don't have to spend a hell of a lot of money on the Department of Work and Pensions deciding who deserves benefits.
How much do we spend on that right now? Any idea?
I've absolutely no idea.
Okay.
I've absolutely no
Anyone
idea.
know?
But we do employ
We
a
don't
massive
know,
department, and
yeah.
you know, I can only tell you what my salary used to be when I worked for them. Which
Okay. So we spend a lot of money deciding who should get it and who shouldn't. Should we just give it to everyone then? Everyone in the world, you say?
Yeah, it has to be.
Well, not just the UK.
Universal, yeah. So anyway.
Okay, yeah.
If only England gets, everyone in England only gets £900 a month. Other people like in France,
people.
in Spain, like everybody else will start thinking, why don't we get £900 a month?
Okay.
And then everywhere will get £900 a month. But that means the factories will have to get more than £900 a month to make the things that people buy.
Right. Okay.
Because they have £900 a month they can buy.
Okay, so in a way, would that make £900 a month be worthless anyway, as we have to just make everything more expensive? Otherwise, people agree with this? Is that how it's going to work?
I'm not sure I understood Arthur's economic plan.
Well, basically, the point is that if you give everybody in the world £900 a month, no one's going to do any work. So then the factories that have to employ people have to give people more than £900 a month. Where are they going to get that more than £900 a month from?
The factories will be staffed by robots.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah.
It's to the bright.
I don't think it's true that people won't work. I think people like their jobs, even the ones in the shoe factory, because it gives them people to hang out with and stuff to do all day. And it's nice to know that you can have as many packets of crisps when you get home and you don't have to worry about it. But even so, you might quite like going off to your shoe factory and hanging out with your buddies there.
Okay. So
even if you get 900 quid.
Okay. So people might still go to the factory.
It is that thing about people, they'd find the jobs that they like, and also if they were unemployed because they didn't have a job they liked, they wouldn't have to worry whilst they were looking for a job that they did like. They wouldn't have to worry too much about like
earning money.
Yeah, and
so people
not
would get
having
the jobs
anything
that they
at
like.
all. Yeah, people would get jobs.
Yeah.
a toilet cleaner, do they? But it's still got to get done.
They could. My mum's pretty OCD and she likes cleaning job on the side.
Okay. Is your mum here right now?
No.
That's a shame. You could bring her onto the table.
We evaluate people on their sort of mental weaknesses, but then you need a department for that, and you're paying them, and then you've lost your 900
But
quid a
wouldn't,
month.
if people were all happy and stuff, wouldn't they just clean their own toilets?
Wait.
Only while they were dancing.
Going back to the subject where people like will get smashed, like if they had £900 a month, they might spend it on alcoholic drinks, like loads of alcoholic drinks, like 9. Keep away from me!
Now let's talk of drinking.
Yeah, well, we're not. We've moved on from drinking. We've actually moved on from drinking. Do you want £900 a month? That's what we're talking about now. What? Everyone around the table is saying that everyone should just get £900 a month just for being human beings.
I'm not sure.
Could it work?
Is that across European Union, across all currencies? Is it tax-free?
Okay. Well, what's that?
Just establishing this worldwide. I actually have to go now.
I'm going to say we've got a protest. What is this?
Are you guts?
It's an answer machine. Leave a message after the
I'm failing to really sort of understand what's just happened.
You want £900 a month?
Can someone explain? Can you explain what's going on there, iPhone person?
It's all about communication.
Come and communicate with us. Why are you dressed as an iPhone?
What about the blue ladies? That's okay, Google.
Okay. Oh, you're touching on some of the subjects we've been talking about today, actually. Funnily enough. Come and talk about this.
Drop your sausages, mate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come here. I can't hear you from over there. Grab the mic.
Hello.
Hello.
What do you want me to say?
Can you just explain?
Well, we had an Audi laugh before and decided to put some hoodies on with sausages and hoodies.
Right, I see.
And there's my hoodie friends. Right, I'll let you get on with your speaker's corner.
Did you know that 1 in 3 people apparently have got 3 nipples?
No, I didn't know that.
That's what we heard today. Yeah.
That fact.
Yeah.
It's a big fact.
It's a big fact. What are you going to say?
Haven't you got 3 nipples?
I have. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I only have 2, but.
Okay.
Well, you think so?
Okay.
I'm actually
all right.
from 9 years ago.
Okay. Give us
my last thoughts were, how can I find this again ever? Do you have a website or anything?
You can find us on the People Speak, thepeoplespeak.org.uk. Just Google it or just type it in peoplespeak.org.uk. You'll find all of this and 1,000 other conversations, all in different places. We've got some old cards, which are. What's that?
Rachel's going. I don't know why.
Is that your final thought?
Yeah, I just really like it. It's awesome.
Okay. Anyway, looks like everyone's final thought.
Fully automated luxury communism.
Fully automated what?
Luxury communism.
Okay, fully automated what communism?
Luxury communism.
Okay, fully automated luxury communism. That's where we're going. We're going to strive to make it happen.
And final thought is I can't follow that with except agreeing.
Okay. Are we moving? Is it just inevitable? I mean, Karl Marx felt that it was inevitable we moved towards communism. Final thought, Maya?
I was going to say this is great because I found out I've had opinions on things that I didn't know I had an opinion about before.
Absolutely. Well, Peter, you've got a seat. Where do we want to go with this?
You're not going to like what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say anyway. 3 nipples, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is one of them the witch's nipple?
Witch's nipple?
The witch's nipple.
Which one is the witch's nipple?
Well, I'm just suddenly thinking there's a mix, kind of a conversation that possibly not in front of small children. But anyway, how can you tell if a woman is a witch?
I don't know.
Because she's got a 3rd nipple.
Really?
Okay. And so where's this nipple then? Okay, I'm going to stop there now. I'm stopping there. Where's the 3rd nipple?
Bob.
I thought it was whether she was floating or not. I thought it had something to do with that.
Okay. Okay, so where do we want to go with this? Do we want to carry on with the communist discussion, the universal basic income? Do you want to talk about witches? Do you want to talk about nipples? Do you want to carry on about boozes? Shall we just, is it time just to maybe park some of these thoughts until tomorrow? As the sun's gone down, which is kind of our official cue to...
I reckon we've been sitting here for quite a while and I kept on hearing all the bands happening kind of playing over there.
Yeah.
But I don't know what these bands are. It would be nice to go and check it out. Yeah, well, we talked about that. You were here for that conversation. Oh,
what's this?
This one's Gum Meets Tooth.
Oh, I really wanted to watch those guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm over here.
You can. you know, I was learning in religion at school that you can. The Indians think you have 3 eyes, one here, and one here.
Yeah.
The mind's eye, because it can see things.
Really? Okay.
Like I see people with £900 a month.
Yeah, you can see that in your mind's eye. Okay, so 3. Did you know you've got 3 eyes? You've got the. You've got the left eye, the right eye, and the mind's eye. And Arthur, in his mind's eye, sees everyone getting a universal basic income of £900 a month.
Woo!
Yep.
So I didn't mean to grab the microphone, but like, isn't it funny how 3 eyes times 30 is 900?
Exactly. Amazing. Because I mean, in Star Trek, where they've got a post-scarcity society, they don't have 3 eyes, but they do have 3 ears. A left ear, a right ear, and a final front. And
no, leave.
Leave it. Okay. All right. Okay.
By the way, I don't think we should park the car. I think we should go on for another 9,000 miles and carry on going until the morning.
Okay, you think we should carry on this until the morning? Let's have a vote on this. Shall we carry this on until the morning?
Push on through.
Okay, push on through to the other side. Okay, where do we want to go with this? We've got another 10 hours, so time's running out.
What's everybody's favourite?
Where do we want to go with this? What's that?
What's everybody's favourite colour?
No, shut up, shut your face. Where do we want to go with this? I think we're going to, unless we get some...
Constructive. So I actually had a meeting with a friend of mine who runs a communist party, a small emerging party.
What's his name?
Sorry? I'll do that later. They're called Solidarity, and they're the people who are campaigning hardest to try and get Corbyn elected.
Right.
He and I had a big discussion, and I was trying to explain to him why I'm so apathetic about politics at the moment. He was trying to make me unapathetic, and I said a lot of it's just because, unfortunately, people are just very swayed by the media. A lot of people who haven't had the luxury of our education kind of just get swayed by a lot of very powerful rhetoric. And he was just saying, like, but it's true that even though the voices on the right kind of shout louder, actually the voices on the left tend to linger longer.
Right.
And that if you actually change 1 or 2 people, actually that will have a much bigger effect than changing 100 people with one very powerful, quick, snappy speech. You just have to kind of wait longer.
So you just have to be persistent and bang on and on and on and on and on and on.
It's why kind of socialism has never actually died and is actually having a bit of a resurgence.
Okay, so the way to actually get these left-wing ideas across is to bang on and on and on about them forever. Eventually, people will agree. Okay.
It's a lot to do with subverting current systems. Like you look at how Scotland's gone massively left-wing. They took themselves out of the Labour movement, which is dead in the water, basically. You know, I mean, I think Jeremy Corbyn's doing a lot of good things for raising awareness of certain policies, but he's trying to revive a corpse.
Is he flogging a dead horse?
You could say that. Could say that. Okay. So it's they linger, but there is also a groundswell.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's not a groundswell within a it's not a groundswell within a party. It's a groundswell within
ideas,
people.
Ideas. Is there a groundswell of socialism? Don't run away, because we're just going to be lingering on and on and on and on. Oh, it's gone. Is it just about being persistent and going on and on and on about it, and eventually people will agree with you?
It's gentle coercion.
Yeah.
I think persistence is one thing, but I think the only way you're ever going to be able to change people's minds is by finding something, finding some sort of common ground between how absurd your idea is and how and their rationality, essentially.
So you need to connect with people in a way.
That's right.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay. I sort of feel like they're amping up the volume as a kind of sign for us to maybe move on to final thoughts here.
I've just Well, I think that for a backup idea, we could have like what makes a good Prime Minister.
Okay, what would you say makes a good Prime Minister?
Well, I think good ideas, inventive ideas, and like a good leader. What makes a good leader? Someone who you can follow and trust.
Okay, so trust and good ideas.
And also, I don't really know about this stuff because I haven't been alive as long as you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Do we even need leaders? That's what was being said earlier on. Okay. So we're talking about the future of socialism. Apparently socialism is alive and well, and it's not the fact that anyone in the media has been talking about it. It's just the fact that people go on and on and on about it, and eventually people agree with them, which I think is a brilliant idea. Yeah, on and on and on and on, and eventually, yeah.
My problem with all this is that we're kind of coming from it from the point. Oh,
someone's phone's ringing. Oh no,
yeah. My problem with all this is we're saying, we've got to try and persuade everyone else of our point of view, and that's partly because of the electoral system we have in this country, which is essentially that everyone's got to kind of vote for, one party has got to kind of win. I was kind of hoping that we'll end up with a different electoral system, whereby we'll be able to vote for like smaller parties, people that we believe in, and then they'll get together and they'll kind of create.
Okay, so we've got to actually change the political system.
So, like Jeremy Corbyn, for example, I'm all for Jeremy Corbyn being able to run a party that people can vote for, but the reason why so many people in like Labour politicians don't want this to happen is because they think that it's not actually going to get Labour to be able to win an election. And so, unless you kind of actually change the system so that, in a way, I think it might be positive if you do end up with like lots of smaller parties that people can vote for.
Working with each other. Okay. Okay, yeah. Well, so give us a final thought, or initial thought even. What's in the jar? A lemon?
It's lemon and water.
Why?
Because it rehydrates you.
Okay, what do you think about the future of socialism? Is socialism about to re-emerge?
I think it's always been present, but I suppose like with the sort of like growth in sort of Facebook and communication, we all know that like actually everyone's feeling the same way. So yeah, it will probably, I hope they will just gain more and more strength.
Okay. Final thought?
I don't know, maybe like I don't know, just getting out of Tea Party system, which in England.
We've got to move on a little bit from this two-party system. Okay. Okay, come and have a seat on the table of chat. Do you want £900 a month? Is socialism alive and well? What we've heard is the media are very anti-socialism, but the idea of socialism just persists because people just go on and on about it and never shut up about it. Even though they've got tiny voices, they just can't. So then socialism, that's what we're talking about, right?
I just want to say that it's interesting that you said Peter, Arthur's dad, aka the dude. When you said we have to give it to like smaller parties, but how small is small? Like, are we in like who we are? Are we capable of leading a small party, whatever that is, and then actually being in the forefront of changing the politics? Do you
are we
feel
capable
like
of it?
Yeah, are we capable like as we are?
Okay, let me just. It's Dana, isn't it?
Trio.
Trina, sorry. Let's get
Hello,
final thought.
it's Trio. Bye bye. Lovely to see you all. Oh my God, there's a noise.
What's your final thought?
My final thought is that I really enjoyed it this evening. I came back, and if we weren't getting noise, I'd stay. But anyway,
okay.
Have a nice evening, everybody.
We've got to leave space for the electronic artist as well. It's not just about the chit chat. We'll be here tomorrow. What I wanted to do is like have some thoughts and dreams and tell us about them. And we're gonna get bigger and better tomorrow. We're gonna work out what the future of this country and the world and the universe is. Maybe it's just time to get final thoughts from everybody, and then we can go. Yep.
Well, I think that, and it's like someone personally, like let's say you. He could lead a small party. What would happen if everyone in England voted for him,
Bob,
to be a president? What would happen?
What would happen? What would happen?
To be honest, I think I'd really screw things up. Yeah, I don't think I'd do a good job of it. I try my best, but I don't. I don't think I'd do a good job. I think I could do good motivational speeches, but I think aside from that.
Okay. All right. So is it more difficult than we thought to actually be a politician? Is it actually more difficult than we thought? Bob doesn't want to do it. Yeah.
Well, it is pretty hard, but I think anyone could do it because it's not entirely like what you decide
Yeah.
will probably go.
Right.
But like, as you say, you got to make, like, let's say you would have to.
Yeah.
You would have to like agree with the most amount of people. If you just agreed, like, let's say
With
there
your
were
friends.
there were three things that you could vote for. Like most of people voted for one thing. The rest voted for the other. You couldn't just go and vote for something else. You couldn't go and say this goes because.
So you've got to basically listen to what other people compromise. Yeah.
Because these people want to. They have the most. If you do not listen to them, something bad might happen, and you might get you don't know what could happen. So you should probably listen to those people.
Do you think politicians listen enough to those that don't agree with them?
Well, depending who you think is a good prime minister. So I think someone is a good prime minister. I think that they make the right decisions. I would probably go with.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't always say, like, I'm definitely going for this person just because I like him. Or her. I would go for the person who's making the right decision then.
Okay. All right. What makes a good prime minister? Is it listening to people, compromise? Is it having good ideas? I think it is probably time to get some final thoughts as the sun is setting.
Just on that last point, I think somebody's. I think a good prime minister would be, a good prime minister would be statesman-like and be able to make decisions that weren't just totally based on getting elected the next time. So,
Right.
you know, like standing on a platform and then having the balls to, get up and do what you think's right.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. I think it's probably time to get some final thoughts. Let's get some final thoughts. You kind of had your final thought, Arthur, but maybe a final thoughts. Initial thought. Final thought.
I'm not sure this is music, and I'm not sure it's art either.
Okay. Well, give it some time. So, any final thoughts on this side?
It's. I think they are here set up to just sabotage what we're doing, because obviously our conversation has more of a content and political message. They're just shouting out shit, basically. Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
Let's give ourselves a round of applause, I say.
Okay. Yeah.
I strongly believe this music is the enemy of democracy.
Okay.
And on that note, I'm leaving. And thank you. I'll probably come back tomorrow though.
Okay.
That's what Armageddon sounds like.
Okay, we'll be back tomorrow. We're not going to give up. We're going to bang on and on and on and on, just like the socialists. Final thought.
I think we should all discuss what we've dreamt during the night tomorrow.
Okay, so that's tomorrow's theme. Try and remember your dreams. We're going to try.
What time do you start, man?
12:30, 1ish. We'll be back. Final thought.
Two things. This is the TARDIS. Okay, and the second thing is, how many people are here tomorrow?
Everybody.
Are you here tomorrow?
I will be here tomorrow.
I will be here tomorrow.
Okay. So we're here tomorrow. Let's have a big round of applause for everybody today.
Well done, everyone. Let's go drinking non-alcoholic water. Yay! Holy water.
All right. Okay.
Holy Grail. The Holy Grail.
To the maximum.
Let's go drink alcoholic water. Yes. Let's go drink holy water out of the
Okay. All right. So my final thought to you is go party tonight, and tomorrow we want to hear your dreams.
Why not? We just say this is that.
This is that.
Round of applause to the man in the middle.
Thank you.
This is one pair of hands clap.
Let's have a big round of applause to all the other people in the middle of the table and the people that have talked today, Rowan and Margot. We'll be back tomorrow.